Raiders are in the state semifinals. Led by the passing of Casey Johnson, the Raiders hope to take it to the next level. But standing in their way, the Allen Eagles, winners of 41 in a row, back-to-back state champions, and led by the incomparable Kyler Murray. Allen and Skyline is next. Two teams that have yet to taste the bitter sting of defeat meeting on the field today at Ford Stadium. It's 14-0 Allen, 14-0 Skyline in the Class 6A Division I state semifinals. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to SMU's Ford Stadium alongside LaDarren McClain. I'm Doug Anderson, and LD, these two teams have been in this position before, but certainly when you look at the way that Allen has gotten to this point, they've had some close calls, and today might be their closest.
You know, everybody wants to know is, can Kyler Murray and the Allen Eagles pull out another one once again to extend their streak? But I ultimately feel these Skyline Raiders could be their stiffest test of the season. You're talking about a defense that is #1 in the state of Texas, and it could ultimately come down to which team can minimize mistakes and execute at the end of the game.
Well, let's look at how the teams reached this point, starting with Allen, a win in the bi-district over Keller Central, and then 3 very close games against DeSoto, Arlington Martin, and Trinity. 2 of those games decided by field goals in the final minute of the contest. But the young man that has really engineered the 41-game winning streak is the Gatorade National Player of the Year, Kyler Murray.
Well, just when you think this kid has done it all, he pulls something out of the hat, and he amazes you with something else. If it's not with running the ball, passing the ball, or just making a play wherever you think he can't do it, Kyler Murray is the ultimate guy that makes this team win, and they're champions because of it.
Skyline has dominated opponents en route to the state semifinals, 41-14 over Lake Highlands, followed by convincing victories over Belton, Klein Collins, and Klein Oak. Their average score in the playoffs, 41-14, and their quarterback, no slouch. Casey Johnson has been the picture of efficiency this season.
Well, I think at the end of that stat there, 0 interceptions. If you have a quarterback that can do that, you will be one step away from making a state championship run. This kid has done everything they've asked him to do. He can throw, and he can pull it down and run the ball. Just an all-around great quarterback.
Let's take a look at the keys to this game, starting with Allen, and it all relies on Murray's magic. If Kyler Murray can play the way he's played for 40 games in a row now, you can expect Allen to be on top at the end of this one. Anticipate, don't react. That means that because Allen is not as fast as Skyline, they have to be one step ahead with what they're thinking the Raiders are going to do, and they have to guess right and just win, baby. That's been what Allen has done for 41 games in a row now. They just find a way to win.
And I think for the Raiders, dominating defense, just like we mentioned a moment ago, this team has held opponents to only 13 points a game in the playoffs. They have to use that to their advantage here tonight. And a Casey Massabee, Casey Johnson, the quarterback, no interceptions this season. If he can continue on that type of pace and lead this team up and down the field, passing and running the ball, they should have an excellent shot. And keep your composure. You're going up against the champs. They have been there, done that. You will get frustrated, but keep yourself in the game, and you'll come out maybe on top there.
What a matchup we have this evening. We can't wait to bring it to you. It's Allen and Skyline coming up next in the state semifinals here on TXA 21. The TXA 21 Game of the Week is brought to you by your North Texas GMC dealers. Visit your North Texas GMC dealers. Applebee's. See you tomorrow. Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the right price, every day. Children's Health partnered with the Coles Cares Initiative to help coaches and parents keep players safe during football season. And by Metro PCS, wireless for all.
Oscar! You've got 10 minutes to get in here and bring that loyal boy with you. Challenge!
Albertsons is the store for the holidays. We can help you put a holiday meal together, no problems.
Any possible tray that you can imagine, we can provide for you to make your life a whole lot easier.
All your parties, all your meals, we're going to save you money. This week, pick up fresh whole Atlantic salmon fillets, $5.99 a pound, and 5-pound bags of russet potatoes. Buy one, get one free.
Everything for your holiday party. Count on it.
We've got the holidays under control. Count on it.
Looks like the Garcia's got a new car.
What'd they get?
I don't know. It's pretty nice. Maybe he got a raise.
Good for him.
Good for her.
The expectation-shattering Buick Enclave.
Celebrate the holidays and pay no interest for 5 years, plus get $500 purchase bonus cash on the 2015 Enclave.
We started the Loya 10-minute challenge so you can make sure you're getting the best deal on your car insurance.
10 minutes, the challenge we're taking.
If you don't call, you don't save.
Before the kickoff, a quick word about the coaches, and for that we send it down to the sideline and bring in Travis Stewart.
Thank you, gentlemen. I did have a chance to catch up with both coaches for the game. First of all, Reginald Samples for Skyline said quarterback Casey Johnson's ankle's fine. That's good news. The bad news is Kyler Murray. They have to keep that kid in the pocket. That's easier said than done. For Allen's Tom Westerberg, he said that the kids are not worried about winning a 42nd straight game, not worried about a third straight title game. That's what makes this team so good. They don't look too far ahead. And on offense, they're going to run ahead. They're going to run sideline to sideline. They're not going to let Skyline's defense dictate the pace of the game. Back to y'all.
All right, thanks a lot, Travis. Great to have you with us tonight. And we are ready for kickoff. Skyline won the toss, elected to defer. So Caleb Contreras will kick for the Raiders. Back deep in the middle, Jalen Guyton, the Notre Dame commit. Standing at the goal line for the Allen Eagles, he is flanked by Jalen Jones and Michael Newsom. Crowd continues to pour into Ford Stadium as we are underway. Guyton will take the kick at the 3-yard line. Across the 20 and wrangle down at the 25. The Allen Eagles bring their offense onto the field for the first time tonight, averaging 50 points a game. One of the top offensive units not only in the state of Texas, but certainly in the country, especially when you consider the young man wearing number 1, Kyler Murray. His first pass this evening will probably send him over 4,000 yards on the season.
Well, you look at what he did last week against Trinity. 25 of 32, 428 yards, 4 touchdowns, Doug. That's his best performance this year in the playoffs, and he's looking for more, but he's going to have a tough task against a very stout Raiders defense.
Allen will start with the run. David Feliciano. And no gain for Feliciano as he is brought down by the Raiders defense. Let's take a look at the Allen offense, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Greg Little, the left tackle, considered the number 1 offensive lineman in the country for 2016. Then you've got the receiving crew, Guyton, Hall, and Butler, all outstanding. Murray elects to run. Across the 30 and skips out of bounds. They'll stop him right at the 30-yard line, a 5-yard gain. And it gives us a chance to take a look at the Skyline defense. Smith, Abercrombie, Wallace, and Bradford up front. Anthony Wheeler, an All-American at linebacker, along with Malik Jemison. And in the secondary, Jonathan Spencer, Desmond Luster, Lewis, and Andrews, a formidable bunch.
You're going to see right off the bat the strength of both teams. You've got the offense of Allen up against Skyline's defense. This secondary has got a tough task of trying to play coverage.
Murray in trouble, and down he goes. Anthony Wheeler, we just talked about him, the All-American, with over 20 offers on the table, a loss of 11 as he brings down Kyler Murray.
Well, Doug, this doesn't happen much. This is a coverage sack, and Wheeler is the extra guy in the box, and what they do is play coverage on the back end, and if they can free release Wheeler to get back to Murray, he has an ultimate chance of neutralizing his speed and making those types of plays.
Kalen Harrod will punt on 4th down for the Eagles. Sends it bouncing right down the middle of the field. Good punt. 49 yards as Savon Rollison stays away from it for Skyline. And now we see the Raiders offense led by their quarterback, Casey Johnson, the 6'3 senior. And the amazing thing about him, we talked about it in the open, LD, 36 touchdowns to 0 interceptions.
It's phenomenal. And 236 pass attempts. That's incredible. I don't know if anybody at this stage in a season through 14 games has not thrown it to the other team. That is a stat that will live in infamy. What he's got to do today in this offense is manage the game. You've got talented, skilled players around you. When the opportunity is there to make that play, you've got to take it down and use your legs.
First play, Johnson will hand it off. No gain as Daleon Ward was stopped by the Allen defense. Let's take a look at the Skyline offense, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Henderson, Wallace, Munoz, Robinson, and Washington, the offensive line. We mentioned Ward. He's had a big season this year, running behind Casey Johnson. And Rollison and Carlos Strickland, along with Malik Webb, the wide receivers that really have done a fantastic job in leading this Raiders offense to 46 points a game. Johnson, under some pressure, rolls out. The right side, trying to skip up the far sideline. Pick up 3. Third down coming up for the Raiders, and both teams looking good defensively as we start this game. Speaking of defense, let's take a look at the Allen defense. Tupou, Hinman, Burleson, and Onwuzurike on the front line. Dallas George, Tupou, and Yandel, the linebackers, and then Anthony Taylor and the 2 Jalens, Ellis and Jones, along with Michael Newsom, a great secondary. In fact, Ellis and Jones were instrumental last week in the win over Trinity. Both had an interception in the ball game. In fact, Jalen Jones had his on the goal line.
Yeah, 27 tackles just between those 2 players in the secondary. And it's a secondary that is underclassmen back there. We talk about Jones. He's only a junior. Jalen Ellis is only a sophomore. Michael Newsom, only a sophomore as well. Anthony Taylor, a junior. But they've got years of experience in the way they play. They've seen a lot of football. They've gone against the toughest in the state, and they seem to keep on fighting and playing well.
You saw Brett Burleson, defensive tackle, walk off for Allen in a little bit of pain. Keep an eye on that. In the meantime, it's a long third down for Skyline. Johnson throws the screen. Near sideline, Rollison. And Rollison out of bounds at the 39-yard line, picks up 6, but not enough for a first down.
Well, you see right off the bat the speed of Allen as well. They may not be going toe-to-toe in terms of skilled players to run with the Raiders, but they do have good team overall speed to make that play come up a little bit short of the first down.
See head coach Reginald Samples talking to his receiver. Tom Westerberg over on the other side. The coaching records between these 2 gentlemen, unbelievable success that they've had at their respective programs. On fourth down, the Raiders set to punt. Kick from Ladero Randolph. Sails down the middle of the field. Taken by Kerry Hall. Hall wrapped up immediately, and he is dropped around the 25-yard line. 40-yard punt, 6-yard return, and we will take a timeout. 9:28 remaining first quarter. No score from SMU's Ford Stadium.
For the North Texas High School Football Player of the Week, brought to you by Children's Health. By your side for safety, to keep players safe. Relive the highlights and cast your vote at childrens.com/football.
Live on TXA 21 tonight, the Class 6A Division I state semifinals. Allen and Skyline, no score as we play in the first quarter. Keon Williams has checked into the backfield for the Eagles alongside Kyler Murray. Murray to throw over the middle, has a man, 40-yard line. Cody Butler to midfield, and it's a 25-yard pickup. First down, Allen.
Now you see the greatness of Kyler Murray. Anytime you give him a chance to pick out his first read and make his throw, he's going to complete that 100% of the time. He went to his initial receiver, found him open. The defense trying to play an underneath zone, and he's going to pick that apart all evening.
Murray again. This time misses. Once again, he was looking for Cody Butler. That last pass for Murray sent him over the 4,000-yard mark on the season. Recently named, in fact this week, named the Gatorade National Player of the Year. Murray, the Texas A&M commitment, with an unprecedented rate of success in Texas high school football. Keeps the football here and will manage about a yard. Anthony Wheeler in there to bring him down, and now it's 3rd and long for the Eagles.
Well, Anthony Wheeler has got to play his best ball game tonight, because in that zone read look, that zone read can dismantle any defensive team. You've got to commit. I'm going to take the running back, or am I going to take the quarterback? Anthony Wheeler's responsibility tonight has got to be Kyler Murray the entire ball game.
Murray rolls out. Looks downfield, toss, incomplete. Kerry Hall was the intended receiver, and that brings up 4th down.
Now, that's a good series defensively by the Raiders, Doug. Anytime you can get Kyler Murray off his mark. Now, as athletic he is, you say, well, he's still a good passer outside of the pocket. But let me tell you something. This kid is a prototypical pocket passer. He doesn't have the measurables, but if you can get him off his mark, you got a better fighting chance for your defense to make plays.
Herod to punt. And Savon Rollison is back deep to retrieve it for the Raiders. Rollison will wave this one off and hope it bounces into the end zone, which it does. Touchback, and the Raiders will have the ball for the 2nd time tonight. Skyline has looked extremely impressive in the playoffs. Now, they haven't played the murderer's row that Allen has with games against DeSoto, Arlington Martin, and Trinity, but they still have beaten everybody they faced rather handily.
I think that's something to say for them. You know, they're not out there picking who they play. You know, that's not the kids' fault. They go out there and play who's out there on the field. And I think they dominated once they hit the playoff stride. They've dominated offensively, and their defenses have taken over teams and really making it one-dimensional. They're going to have a tough task tonight, but I think their offense has got to make some ball control plays and keep the hands out of Kyler Murray.
Allison goes in motion. Casey Johnson will keep it. He is stopped behind the line, a 1-yard loss. This defense for Allen turning it up. Levi Nwuzurike with the stop. Allen's defense giving up 26 points a game. Not one of the top defenses in the area, and that has led to some close ball games this year with the likes of DeSoto and Trinity, especially both of those games coming down to last-minute field goals.
And that could go to what you said a minute ago, the competition, the level of play, the teams that they played. You know, there hadn't been too many teams that have held Trinity in the wraps, and that proved last week.
Johnson to throw. Rollison, the intended target, incomplete. 3rd and long for Skyline.
You can just get a sense that these offensive coordinators are trying to pick their spots. They're trying to take some jabs here. We kind of saw that last night with Argyle and Graham. Both offenses trying to feel their way, trying to get in situations where they can schematically find an opportunity on offense to take advantage of a defensive weakness there.
Big 3rd down for the Raiders. Under pressure, Johnson runs. Eludes one man, now another, and goes down 23-yard line. Picks up 4 yards on the play, but not enough nearly for a 1st down.
Now, 2 good things there. Nice defensive stop there by the Allen Eagles, but good play there by Johnson. I know he wanted to go with the screen, but he didn't throw the ball downfield because he had offensive linemen already upfield past line of scrimmage. He tried to make a play, but kudos to the defense there for the Eagles.
Kerry Hall back to receive the punt. Ladero Randolph will kick for the Raiders. Good snap, and Randolph's kick will roll a mile. Watch out. Inside the 20. And down by Skyline at the 16-yard line. A 60-yard punt for Ladero Randolph. And talk about a game changer in terms of field position. That really does it for the Raiders.
Well, that's that hidden yardage that a lot of these coaches talk about. If you can tilt the field back to your favor in the way your defense has been playing, you got to like the odds. If you can hold him here, you may get a chance here to field a punt and get some good field position for your offense.
Kyler Murray, one of our finalists for the Landry Award, which will be presented on Monday. Here on TXA 21, leads his offense onto the field. Almost brought down, avoids one man, now can't avoid another, and he'll lose yardage as he's tackled at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, this is a great scheme here, Doug. If you watch this replay, the defensive coordinator saying, okay, you think we're going to rush 3. Well, I'm going to send the DOD, and that's the linebackers on the outside, the dogs on the outside, and they contain him and flush in the middle, and lo and behold, there he is for a sack.
Malik Jemison made the tackle for the Raiders. Handoff, Keon Williams, and Williams is stopped. 16-yard line, he'll pick up a yard. Skyline's defense, just so many talented players, one of them big number 99, Joe Wallace, 6'2", 315-pound junior.
And they've been able to control the interior thus far of this offensive line. And if you look at what Allen's coming back, they've got an experienced group, and especially Cody Wheeler. Cody Wheeler is a centerpiece on this thing, and right now he's getting beat up front.
Murray looks downfield, nothing to throw to, so he runs. Kyler Murray picks up a first down for Allen, out of bounds at the 34-yard line. 18 yards for Murray.
Now, this is going to be the type of game where Kyler Murray is going to have to do quite a bit of that, because this secondary is going to be good. They're matched up well against the Eagles' defenses, so he's got to take it upon himself to break the defense down, if it's there, and make those types of first down plays.
Murray to throw. And open on the far side.
Good catch there.
And the catch by Kerry Hall for 8 yards. 2nd down and 2 coming up.
Yeah, a lot of confidence in number 12 there. 12 catches last week against Trinity for 119 yards and a touchdown. He's been pretty reliable here, really, since the Arlington-Martin game that we had on this airwaves here.
Keon Williams through the middle, finds a little seam and is able to take advantage of it. 13 yards and a first down for Allen.
Now here he goes again with the zone read look, Doug, and this is really a defensive discipline. You've got to commit. I've got a player taking the running back, or do I take the quarterback? Busted play.
And Murray tries to improvise. Slips and falls down. 3, maybe 4 on the run for Kyler Murray. Head coach Tom Westerberg, 132-16 in his 11th season at Allen. Second down, Murray to throw. Near sideline, has a man caught, 32, and spun out of bounds. Another nice pickup. That time Jalen Guyton, the Notre Dame commitment, makes the catch.
That's a heck of a throw there. That's a big-time Division I FBS throw. You're on the other hash mark, and you throw to the wide side of the field, and it's on time. And it's before the defensive back could even make a play on it. Now, Brandon Johnson is one of the backup strong safeties, also coming in playing some cornerback as well. Good timing between those two.
First down, Allen. Approaching the 4-minute mark in the first quarter, no score. Hand off to Williams. Penalty flag thrown on this play as Williams is knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
That's probably going to be a hold there, Doug.
Williams saw significant time last week. It is a holding call against the Eagles. That game against Trinity, he and David Feliciano basically split the carries in that game.
And if you remember, Keon Williams really was the guy that broke the Arlington-Martin game open. They were looking for some sort of spark in terms of running the ball, and Williams came in and did a great job of that.
1st and 20 for Allen after the holding penalty. Murray throws. Kerry Hall with the catch at the 35-yard line. 7-yard pickup. Let's send it down to the sideline. We'll check in with Travis Stewart.
LD, you were talking about Kyler Murray's throw from the opposite hash and how big time of a throw that is. The defensive back beat on the play was the one who made the tackle, and assistant coach came, slapped him on the helmet, gave him instruction. The kid looked at him like, Coach, there ain't much I can do about that.
That's exactly right.
Murray throwing for the end zone, incomplete. Trying to find Jalen Guyton deep, but Good coverage downfield by the Raiders.
Now, this is what you got to like about this offense. They chip away at you. They throw the quick game passing, but they're always attacking. And they're going to their better receiver, Jalen Guyton, who's made heck of a catches all season long, 21 touchdowns on the season. It's all about matchups in this spread offense, and if they can find a matchup on the outside, they're going to take advantage of it.
Jonathan Spencer in coverage for Skyline. Lisiano in the backfield with Murray. On third down, Murray to run. Makes one man miss across the 30. Murray inside the 25. Looks like he was stopped about a yard shy of the first down. 12 yards for Murray. Very nearly was able to move the chains for Allen on that run.
This is one of the few times they called a quarterback called run. And it's blocked well, but look how he makes some guys just miss. And he scoots across the defense, almost getting the first down.
Murray going for it on fourth down. Finds the first down and more. Inside the 15, tackle down at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he's just fearless. There's nothing that this kid can't do with the football. And no matter what the situation is. Now, this is just a called quarterback power sweep to the left side of the line. Their strength side, Greg Little, the junior, does an excellent job. He's got a lead blocker there with the running back in the backfield.
First and goal, Allen. Quick pitch, Guyton inside the 5, fighting, arms out.
I miss and get in, and that's what they're counting on, Doug. They count on their players to make plays out in the open space, and Guyton came through.
Extra point on the way, and good for Sawyer Williams. And with 2:28 remaining in the first quarter, Allen on top as they lead 7-0.
It's the Silverado year-end event. Time to get the Chevy Silverado on your list. With the best offer of the year on the most awarded pickup of 2014. There's no better time than now. Hurry into your Texas Chevy dealer. The last of the 2014s are going fast. Now during the year-end event, current non-GM owners can trade up to get a total value of $10,500 on this Silverado Texas edition. It's the year-end event at your Texas Chevy dealer.
Congratulations to this month's Wingstop High School Scholar Athlete of the Month. Log on to cbsdfw.com to nominate an outstanding athlete for a chance to win a $1,000 college scholarship. Sponsored by Wingstop, the wing experts, CBS 11 and TXA 21.
Flavor of my food is loud, for sure.
You get at it or you go home? Just got one question. Where the wings at?
Looks like the Garcias got a new car.
What'd they get?
I don't know. It's pretty nice. Maybe he got a raise.
Good for him.
Good for her.
The expectation-shattering Buick Enclave.
Celebrate the holidays and pay no interest for 5 years, plus get $500 purchase bonus cash on the 2015 Enclave.
Allen takes the lead 7-0, 2:28 left in the first quarter after the Whataburger scoring drive. 12 plays, 84 yards, and 4 minutes and 8 seconds used up by the Eagles offense. Touchdown pass from Kyler Murray to Jalen Guyton. For Guyton, that was his 22nd touchdown reception of the year. He is the area's leader in Class 6A in yardage and in touchdowns. He's one of the best. He has over 1,700 yards receiving this year, 22 touchdowns.
Well, it's something said when you also play with the best player in the nation, and you can benefit from that as well.
Yes, that was Kyler Murray's 45th touchdown pass of the season. Savon Rollison on the return for Skyline goes backwards and knocked down at the 15-yard line.
Now this goes back to our keys to the game is keep your composure there for the Raiders. You just took a shot from the chance, and they're going up 7-0, but you can't pat your eyes now. You've got to pull together, run your offense. You've been a machine the entire season, the entire playoffs. Now go out there and try to execute here.
Allen winners of 41 in a row. Skyline on a 14-game winning streak. Both teams perfect this year as Johnson takes the snap. Handoff Rollison, and he's to the 19-yard line. 4-yard pickup. One thing that Skyline loves to do is to bring their receivers around on the jet sweep. We saw that against Jesuit earlier in the season. They really utilized their receivers well in that way.
It's all about speed. It's playing fast. It's getting your players with an edge against the defense. And right now, you know, the Eagles are really taking that away. And they've got to keep chipping away if they want to be successful offensively tonight.
Hand off to Ward. Ward makes a move to the outside. 25, now the 30. DeLeon Ward picks up 15. First down, Skyline.
Now, DeLeon Ward's got to be a key piece tonight for this offense, and a kid that's going over now 1,700 yards on the season. He's a dynamic weapon. He can make guys miss. He's very shifty in the open space, and if they can get those types of plays, man, it would open up the entire offense for these skill players at the receiver positions.
Dalton Maydole make the tackle for the Eagles. First down, Skyline. Back to Ward. This time Ward nowhere to run. Navy picked up a yard.
Well, somebody better figure out to block number 99, Ron Hinman, the senior defensive tackle. All 5'9", 236 pounds of him, doing an excellent job of just being a stump right now. They're having some trouble really moving these defensive tackles out of position, and it's taken away some of those running lanes that the Raiders like to do.
Johnson, the pass to Rollison. Rollison inside the 40 now, up to the 44-yard line. 9-yard pickup for Savon Rollison. He is right on the first down marker.
That's a pretty good play there by Rollison. This kid here is explosive, and he's playing the inside receiver, so they like the matchups against safeties a lot of times, but if they can throw him that short screen pass to where he can pick a lane and make a guy miss, that's really a nice weapon for this offense against this defense.
First down. Ball spotted at the 44. Hand off to DeLeon Ward, and Ward wrapped up around the 48-yard line. He'll pick up about 3. Tackle on the play made by Jalen Ellis. Ellis, 5'9", 150-pound sophomore, one of 3 sophomores that start for the Allen defense.
Which is incredible, considering the competition that they played against. You know, they really don't get beat too often, and they're excellent run supporters, just as you saw there as Ellis coming up and breaking run support plays.
Johnson on second down, under pressure, wrapped up by 3. Allen Eagles, and brought down in the sack to Garrett Whitaker, the 5'9" junior. That's his 4th of the season. He'll at least get a part of that one.
The pass protection is starting to break down, and Garrett Whitaker does an excellent job with his speed rush to the outside. Boy, the defense is playing well early.
Timeout called on the field. Timeout actually no, the end of the first quarter, as we have come to the end of the first 12 minutes. First quarter brought to you by Fred Loya Insurance. Take the Loya 10-minute challenge and save. Back for the second quarter with Allen leading Skyline in a moment. We begin the second quarter from Ford Stadium at SMU. Doug Anderson, LaDarren McClain, Travis Stewart on the field, and the Skyline Raiders with the ball, trailing Allen 7-0.
I think this is a critical third down. I don't think you need to try to punt this ball back to Kyler Murray. I think you need to try to keep some momentum going. Try to throw this ball vertically down the middle of the field.
Johnson throws it. It's caught at midfield and more, close to a first down as the pass goes to Carlos Strickland. Strickland picks up 8, and that should be enough to move the chains.
Yeah, Carlos Strickland creates matchup problems. He's listed at 6'4", 200 to us, but across the country some have him 6'5", 200 and more, but he can flat out fly like a jackrabbit, and we've got an injured Raider there. That actually looks like DeLeon Ward.
Yeah, that's DeLeon Ward. That's trouble for Skyline. Hopefully not too serious of an injury, as Ward has been their leading back on the season. Comes into the game with over 1,600 yards rushing. Bring the chains for a measurement. I believe he picked up the first down. Official.
Yeah, sure.
Look at that. Well, it on the monitor shows it to be. Now the officials are saying they get the right spot.
Well, right, it's short to me.
It does look short. Let's send it down to the sideline. Injury update with Travis Stewart.
All right, guys. Ward came to the sideline, looked like he was testing an ankle, did a little bit of hopping, jogged up and down the sideline, looked at his coach, nodded. They gave him a pat and said, "You're right back in."
Yeah, it looked like he got rolled there, Travis. From what I looked like, he was one of the blockers for Strickland there.
Big down for Skyline as they go for it on 4th and inches. Johnson goes under center, backs his way into a first down at the 45-yard line.
Oh, I like that call. I really do. Not only the fact that they went for it, but he went back under center. You know, it drives me nuts when you have 4th and less than an inch almost, and you're still in shotgun. You've just created distance, but he gets underneath center. And keep in mind, he's 6'3", 205 pounds, so he can definitely push his way through.
Casey Johnson in that first quarter, 2 of 3 passing, but for only 15 yards. Johnson drops back. Lets one fly over the middle, tipped, incomplete. It was intended for Savon Rollison, but Misi Tupou got his hands on it first.
Yeah, good recognition by Tupou there. Trying to get this ball right over the top of Misi Tupou. It seems like every year this defense has so many leaders to play the linebacker position, and Tupou there is really no exemption to that. He's leading this defense. He gets everybody lined up, and especially with the pups behind him, he's got to make sure that, hey, we've got to be ready to play against this very fast offense.
Big rush. Johnson able to get rid of the football. Rollison bobbled it, but then brought it down and picked up 4.
That only counts as one catch. He caught it twice.
Well, the rush was coming against Johnson. He's able to release the football, and then you see it. It bounces off of Rollison's hands, then back into him as he's able to make it a 4-yard gain. You talk about linebacker tradition and the shoes that Misi Tupou and others have to fill. Talk about the guys that they lost last year. Tay Evans now at Oklahoma, Christian Sam at Arizona State.
Yeah, that's some tough shoes to fill.
3rd down. Rollison on the end around. Turns it up inside the 40 and works it to the 37-yard line. 4-yard pickup. That is short of the first down, and once again Skyline in a 4th down situation.
That's a little bit further than what we had a moment ago, and you know, Coach Samples is sitting here thinking, okay, you know, we've found a little momentum here. Our offense is doing some different things we weren't doing in the first quarter. Let's see if we can keep this thing going. Let's see if we can use our speed and try to outflank the defense and see if we can't bust a big one.
Skyline going for it again. 4th and 2, trailing 7-0. Johnson throws. It's caught. First down, Skyline, 5-yard pickup as Rollison makes the catch.
That's a great throw because he had to throw this ball low and away, because if he throws it anywhere else, it's really a chance to get knocked down, maybe even get tipped and maybe get picked there. Well, it's a good, smart route in the inside. Rollison, knowing what he needs for the distance, hooking up, making a target for his quarterback.
2 800-yard receivers for Skyline, Rollison and Carlos Strickland. Handoff to Ward. Ward breaks the tackle. Inside the 25-yard line, down to the 24, 8-yard pickup. DeLeon Ward, good to see him back out there after he limped off the field moments ago.
And now the offensive line up front for the Raiders starting to get a little mojo here. Now they're working together as one unit, and Daniel Munoz, the junior center, number 62, did a great job of communicating with Terry Wallace, the senior, the left guard, and that created a nice little gash there for Ward to bust through.
Second and short, and off Ward. No, keeper, Johnson. And Johnson surprises the Allen defense and yours truly. Going around the left side, picking up the first down.
Don't read or get anybody. Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. This is a great job here by Casey Johnson. The zone read is supposed to do that. And if it fakes you and I out, then you just have to imagine what it's done for the defense. And when you've got Johnson who can execute that, that's a nice weapon that they can maybe take advantage of later in this game.
Give Skyline a first down as they continue to march with 8:17 remaining in the first half. Collison with the catch. Inside the 10. Stopped at the 9-yard line. 4-yard pickup. Dallas George made the tackle for the Eagles.
Well, that's an excellent job by Dallas Ward. He's got a lot of ground to cover. He's playing the outside linebacker, but he's about 10 to 12 yards to, well, actually, the receiver catches the ball. But he makes that play. That's a great job. That's some good speed there from these linebackers.
16th play of the drive coming up for Skyline.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's why you have to do this, and that's the way you have to play against the Allen Eagles. Trinity did it last week, but they came up short 3 points, but that is the blueprint if you want to stay in this game with the Eagles.
This time Johnson will keep it. Inside the 5, diving to the 3. 6-yard pickup and right at the first down marker for Casey Johnson.
Now zone read again. And this might have been just Casey Johnson saying, okay, I'm going to fake it, but I'm running the entire time. In fact, yeah, it is a called play because they bring Terry Wallace on the backside to block out.
First and goal Skyline as they try to tie the ball game. Handoff. Inside the 5, reaching down at the 2-yard line. Ladero Randolph with the carry.
Nice play by Jacob Yandel. He actually turns Randolph back into the teeth of the defense. Randolph wanted to go all the way to the sideline and maybe turn it up and get it in.
An injured Allen Eagle at the goal line. That looks to be Sione Tupou, the defensive lineman, who starts at right end for the Eagles. Comes into the game with 4 sacks and 68 stops. While they check him out, we will take a timeout. 6:48 left in the first half. Skyline marching downfield looking for their first score of the evening.
The Landry Award recognizes Jonathan Gray of Aledo High School.
Jake Oliver of Dallas Jesuit.
The Landry Award recognizes Miles Garrett of Arlington Martin High School.
The Landry Award, Monday at 7 on TXA 21.
I know Academy Sports and Outdoors has everything on my family's Christmas list.
I know everyone can use these.
And I know I can shop with confidence because of their wide selection of gifts for my whole family.
Get everyday low prices on items all over the store. Like an Under Armour Big Logo fleece for just $54.99. Or a new Razor Crazy Part for $349.99.
Thanks to Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Red Hot Flames. Stars. Flames. Friday at 8 on TXA 21.
Skyline with the ball at the Allen 2-yard line, trailing 7-0. Winner of this game will move on to the state championship at AT&T Stadium next week. They will play the Cy Ranch Mustangs, who were winners today over Converse Judson, 33-31. So
how about that?
38-31, I should say. So congratulations to Cy Ranch moving to the state final. Johnson hands off to Ward. Ward will punch it in. Touchdown Skyline, and the Raiders are within a point.
Well, they elect to go behind the big fella, big number 75, Jadon Robinson. 6'1", 305 pounds, and you see Ollie Washington, 77. I mean, they just pushed the entire defensive front down. Nice kick-out block. And DeLeon Ward gets into the end zone.
His 20th touchdown of the season. The extra point is good from Caleb Contreras, and we have a tie ball game. 6:22 remaining in the first half, and Allen and Skyline are knotted up.
High fives, big cheers, and game-changing plays. Vote for the North Texas High School Football Player of the Week. Brought to you by Children's Health. By your side for safety. To keep players safe. Relive the highlights and cast your vote at childrens.com/football.
I am Metro, because everything I do needs to be fast.
I run nationwide.
On the blazing fast 4G LTE T-Mobile network.
I pay $40. No surprises.
I am Metro, because I have to be fast, and fast wins.
Riding on that nationwide T-Mobile network.
It's not rocket science. Fast nationwide for $40, period.
Merry Christmas, neighbors. Richard Dunkerson for North Central Ford. For a limited time, buy any new vehicle in stock and get 0 down, 0% interest and 0 payments till March of 2015. Get your next Ford at North Central Ford. Call 1-800-NEXT-FORD today.
Billy Bob's Texas is your ticket to the biggest names and brightest stars. On December 12th, Texas native Kevin Fowler hits the stage. Then don't miss Lee Bryce on December 13th. Billy Bob's Texas, where music, bull riding, and good times live on. Have you been to Billy Bob's lately?
High fives, big cheers, and game-changing plays. Vote for the North Texas High School Football Player of the Week. Brought to you by Children's Health. By your side for safety. To keep players safe. Relive the highlights and cast your vote at childrens.com/football.
A tie ball game at SMU's Ford Stadium. Allen and Skyline knotted up at 7 after the Whataburger scoring drive. And what a drive it was, LD. 18 plays, 85 yards, and 8 minutes of time used up by Skyline. I tell you what, that's exactly the kind of drive that they need. Skyline likes to play up tempo. They like to score fast. But really, in a game against a team like Allen, if you can keep Kyler Murray off the field, that's what you do.
Yeah, I've always been a big proponent of playing the game on the field. Now, if you're playing against Kyler Murray, you're exactly right, Doug. You got to keep that ball as long as you can. If you can cash it in, well, that's just extra bonus points there as well. Any other team, they probably would have no problems going up and down the field and seeing how many points they can put on the board.
Contreras to kick. Sends it deep. Michael Newsom will call for it at the 7-yard line. Newsom hit, stays on his feet. Now dropped inside the 15, but his forward progress. Our far sideline official has him spotted up at the 16-yard line. And we'll send it down to the field and check in with Travis Stewart.
Howdy, guys. 2 notes on the Allen defense. First of all, injury report. Kid's fine. Tupou, the defensive end, just tweaked his knee, pierced a piece on his helmet real quick. He was fine. He just looked gassed, matched up against a much bigger offensive tackle. And 2, Tom Westerberg, before the game, told me his Allen defense is playing their best ball of the year right now, that they've peaked. They're going to have to show it now. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Travis. So far, the Allen defense, except for the last drive, has looked very good. Going deep, Murray finds Guyton in and out of his hands. Woo. Big play there potentially for the Allen Eagles, but Darian Lewis in coverage for Skyline helped to break that one up.
Well, that pass is on the money. And if Guyton, probably about 20 yards downfield, actually ran into the safety. That was Darian Lewis. And he actually ran into him, but once that collision happened, he got a little bit of separation, and that's where Kyler Murray dropped that ball right there in the bucket, but he did drop it.
Probably should have been a catch for Guyton. They go back to the drawing board. Cody Butler with the catch. And Butler knocked out of bounds across the 20 to the 23-yard line, about a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, I really like this kid, Cody Butler. He's been kind of a little bit security blanket, but everybody's looking on the other side of the field with Jalen Guyton. Cody Butler has been that underneath possession type receiver that Kyler Murray can make some nice clean passes to.
3rd and 4. Three receivers split to the near side. Keon Williams in the backfield. He'll block. Murray looks downfield. Now runs. Has plenty of room. Across the 30. First down. Out of bounds for Kyler Murray after a 16-yard pickup.
This is like schoolyard football here. You know, everybody go deep. Everybody just clear out. And once you get far enough, then I'm going to take off and run. And this is exactly what happens. He scans the field, one receiver, the second one, okay, I'm going to run because there's nothing but green in front of me. And that's an absolute backbreaker for defense that really sold out there on third down.
Skyline calls timeout. It's the first timeout for either team tonight. They did not like what they had defensively.
Well, I think it's a smart timeout. You don't want to get out of position and let that beat you. You know, you want to make sure we're all on the same page. There's nothing wrong with that. You've got 2 timeouts left. Go ahead and burn it. You got 5:50 left in the half. Nothing wrong with talking about it.
Skyline might have had too many men on the field, which forced the timeout. Raiders march through the playoffs includes victories over Lake Highlands, Belton, Klein, Collins, and Klein Oak last week. Defeated Klein Oak 38-20. To move into the semifinals for the second time since 2011. They lost their semifinal in 2011 under the lights right here at Ford Stadium to South Lake Carroll. And that was a wild game. That was the game that had the controversial onside kick for Carroll. They were down by 10 in the final minute of the game, scored, kicked the onside kick, recovered it. Some people thought it didn't go a full 10 yards. And then Kenny Hill ran a touchdown in for the game winner for South Lake Carroll as a brown and silver fox was running through the field.
Legend of the Fox begins.
Yes, the legend of the Fox began that day. Keon Williams with a run for Allen. Picks up a couple, and he takes lead to the sideline. David Feliciano checks in. Murray to throw, near sideline. Butler's open. Has he? First down. Butler tries to turn it upfield, but is wrapped up. 13-yard pickup as Cody Butler works it to the Skyline 47-yard line.
Now, not too many high school players are going to make that throw. Again, same pass that we saw in the first quarter. This one had a little bit more oomph behind it, and that's an excellent route on the outside. Cody Butler, not the speed burner, but an excellent route runner, and a good hands catcher there.
Feliciano, he finds a hole. Inside the 40 to the 39, 8-yard pickup.
Well, that's his own read. He caught the defensive end, number 51, Kimball Bradford in no man's land, Doug. He's reading the defensive end, and if Bradford wants to take Kyler Murray, it's an automatic handoff to Feliciano.
Murray to keep. Runs near side. Turns it, goes out of bounds after a 2-yard pickup. That's close to a first down. In fact, he might have it.
Zone read look, hey, got a defensive end right down again. You got Zach Abercrombie chasing you down from behind. This shows you how much speed that kid Kyler Murray has there getting the first down.
First down for Allen Murray with time to throw, but will run it. Leg tackle by Anthony Wheeler after a 4-yard gain.
Well, that's got to be the matchup. Anthony Wheeler has to be the guy to be there, almost like a spy roll. When he sees Kyler Murray trying to break contain out of the pocket, Anthony Wheeler has got to be the first guy to meet him in that hole.
Second down. Murray hands off. Feliciano. He stops. No gain. Good stop by the Skyline defense as the Raiders. Raheem Leeper in there to make the stop. Leeper a backup behind Malik Jemison at that linebacker spot. Brings up third down and 6. Murray to operate out of the gun with receivers split either way. Murray throws over the middle. Butler catches it. First down. Breaks one tackle and falls at the 15. 18-yard pickup for Cody Butler. And Allen now in prime scoring position as they pick up a first down inside the Skyline 20.
And he's not going to run away from anybody on the field, but you can't cover him. He's an excellent route runner. He knows the timing and where Kyler Murray wants him to be.
Feliciano goes right inside the 10. Knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. 11-yard pickup for David Feliciano, and it's 1st and goal, Allen.
Well, there are not many teams that can get to the outside against this defense, and Feliciano saw it, took advantage of it, had a great block in the outside by Cody Butler. Allen knocking on the door again.
Murray throws. That one sailed on him high over the head of Jalen Guyton.
Oh, he was really trying to get that pass out there real quick as he saw the defense really out of position. And that could have been an absolute ad-lib, to be honest with you. He may have saw 2-on-1 on the outside and put that ball out there.
2nd and goal. Head coach Tom Westerberg, his roots are in coaching offense. He coached the 99 state champion Garland Owls as the offensive coordinator. Pass, Murray. This one on the 1-yard line. Kerry Hall reached out. Looked like he might have broken the plate.
He was down.
But our officials say down at the 1.
Well, here comes the Raiders with an all-out blitz. They're bringing people inside. Man coverage. And, yeah, you're right, Doug. That's a pretty good call. He's just right inside the 1-yard line.
3rd and goal. Murray rolls right, looks, goes down. Lost a yard. Anthony Wheeler had his eyes on Kyler Murray, and the All-American made the play.
They give an assist to the Raheem Leeper, number 44, who's coming in and made some nice plays. I mean, he's the first guy to make a hard edge to turn Kyler Murray back into the defense.
Skyline scored on an 18-yard drive. This drive about to be 15 plays long for Allen. 4th down and goal, and the Eagles will take a timeout. Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. All game tied at 7. Allen knocking on the door, but facing 4th and 2. And you know as well as anybody, especially when you've got a spread offense, when you're down there inside the 5-yard line and the field is that short, that offense gets a little more difficult to run. We'll see what happens with Allen when we come back. Got a timeout. We'll take it with him. 1:58 left in the first half. Allen, Skyline, tied at 7. Tied at 7, Allen and Skyline. It's 4th and goal for the Eagles. Doug Anderson, LaDarren McClain, Travis Stewart with you from SMU's Ford Stadium. Beautiful night for football, and the game doesn't get any bigger than 2 of the best in Class 6A Division I. Now, after the timeout, the Eagles elect to kick the field goal. Sawyer Williams will try it from 19 yards out. He's been money in the playoffs. And no exception here. The field goal good. And Allen takes a 10-7 lead.
I think that's the right call. I think you want to go ahead and get the sure points. You don't want to take any chances and give momentum back to the Skyline Raiders. All you want to do is continue to add points. Your defense has played pretty good. Now, they gave up a long drive last series. There's some time left for these Raiders to go down and try to tie it up or maybe take the lead, but that's a good call to get the sure points.
Whataburger scoring drive. Allen 15 plays, 81 yards, 4 minutes and 20 seconds used up. Capped off by the Sawyer Williams field goal. Williams has won 2 games for the Eagles here in the playoffs. The last second field goal at AT&T Stadium to beat DeSoto, and then last week against Trinity.
Well, that's why you got to have a good kicking game. That's why you've got to be fundamentally sound in your special teams and really know the team really better than the Allen Eagles. And it's proven that the last few weeks, you know, coming out of some tough games and advancing.
Williams will kick. Rollison and Randolph back to receiving for the Raiders. Big booming kick for Sawyer Williams will fly out of the end zone. Skyline will have it at their own 25. Plenty of time. 1:53 left in the first half. And Skyline has 2 timeouts.
Well, will they open up the offense? That's the thing. They've got a minute 53 left, a 2-minute offense. Pretty much they do all the time during the game. They're always in a 4 wide receiver set. Now, if they try to go deep downfield, where their offensive line give Casey Johnson enough time to make his reads and get through his progressions.
We've got a new quarterback in the ball game. Daquan Hardister has checked in.
Only 2 passes thrown the entire season.
This is interesting. Hand off to Rollison, and Rollison picks up 4 up to the 28-yard line, make it the 29. Daquan Hardister, 6-foot senior, who, like you said, LD, has played very sparingly this year. In to run the offense for Skyline, and then you wonder what's up with Casey Johnson. Hopefully Travis Stewart will have some insight on that. Second down, handoff, Daleon Ward. Ward zigging, zagging, bouncing it to the outside across midfield and out of bounds at the Allen 40-yard line. 31-yard pickup for Daleon Ward.
That's a heck of a run, Doug. That's a heck of a run. This is where this guy is dangerous in the open field to make some guys miss. And when he makes some guys miss, he's got the afterburners to kick it into second and third gear. Now, this is great blocking up front. See the seam, make that guy miss, and then it's off to the races. And smart football, knowing that he couldn't get any more yards, stepping out of bounds, saving timeouts.
Ward tonight, 61 yards on 7 carries. First down, Skyline. Hardister to throw, finds Rollison. Rollison across the 35. First down, inside the 30. 10-yard pickup for Savon Rollison.
You see how the run threat has got this defense now thinking inside, and when you do that, it's going to open up Rollison and Ladarrell Randolph from the slot positions to get those wide receiver screens and get those edges. It's a nice pass there by Hardister. That's the hardest thing to do in this type of tight ball game. You know, you've been sitting on the bench for the entire quarter. To come out and even make the simplest of throws sometimes could be a challenge, but he seems to be handling it though.
You see Casey Johnson sitting on the trainer's table, so obviously an injury in play there as Hardister picks up about 3 on first down. And let's send it down to Travis with an update on Casey Johnson.
Johnson went to the sideline. They taped up his hand, but when he tried to grip the ball, he was struggling to do so. Maybe it's a helmet onto the hand. Maybe he got crunched under a pile. That we don't know. But we know if he can't grip the ball, it's going to be hard for him to make some of these short, tight throws, especially with a little bit of a swirling wind down here. This may change the game dramatically from here on out. I'll let you know.
All right, thanks, Travis. Yeah, big development, hand injury to Casey Johnson.
That's a big loss. If he can't go, and it's unfortunate it's his throwing hand. I'm looking at him now. They were really trying, like Travis said, get that ball, see if he can hold it. And if it's your left hand, you can play because you can do a lot of one-handed things as a quarterback because he's not putting his hands under center. He's catching it from the shotgun. But, man, that's got to be a heartbreaker there. You know, a guy that is the focal point of this offense.
Skyline fans hoping that Casey Johnson can make it back, but right now Daquan Hardister is moving this football team downfield, and they have 48 seconds still left on the clock. They used their second timeout, 1 left. Rollison goes in motion. Hardister drops, throws the fade for the end zone. Incomplete. He was trying to find Carlos Strickland, the Texas Tech commitment. Strickland was well covered and the pass was underthrown.
They got to keep that one on the field. And I'm not sure if he doesn't do that. They've got a safety over the top, Jalen Jones, there to probably pick that ball off over the top. And that's the thing. This defense is smart. When they only have 3 receivers, their worst threat or fear threat is Carlos Strickland. So they've got a corner and a safety over the top of that matchup there.
3rd down and 7 for Skyline. Hardister drops back, fires one, caught by Strickland. Inside the 10. Strickland inside the 5 and wrapped up at the 3-yard line. 24 yards, Carlos Strickland. 1st and goal, Skyline, with 32 seconds left in the first half.
Heck of a throw there by Hardister. He reads the coverage, finds a zone. And that's a great route by Carlos Strickland, knowing where to go, shutting his route down, giving his quarterback a target, and then he just turns into a beast mode there, almost putting it into the end zone.
Skyline calls their final timeout.
The drama just continues. You've got a quarterback that Casey Johnson, we all expect to come out here and duel with Kyler Murray. He's gone out, and now you've got an unsung hero at quarterback, to me, Daquan Hardister, just trying to pick up the pieces and keep this thing going. And if you can get the ball to Carlos Strickland, Ladell Randolph, Savion Lawson, Malik Webb, hand it off to Davion Ward, you got to like your chances.
I think what you're saying is it's not like Skyline doesn't have other weapons that they can go to.
Absolutely. And not to say Casey Johnson, he's probably the dual threat quarterback that defenses have to scheme for. But, man, you got talent like that, you've got to be able to utilize the guys around you.
Casey Johnson has gone to the Skyline locker room to be checked out here at the half. You hope that hand injury is not so bad that he can't return, but at the same time, I like what I'm seeing from this Daquan Hardister so far.
Yeah, he seems to be a gamer, and that doesn't shock me. With this guy here, coach of this team, we've seen it every single year. Somebody just steps up, and they pick up the slack and play.
1st and goal, Skyline. Wallison takes the handoff. Ball comes loose.
He got in.
He's down. Our official says touchdown, and Skyline scores.
How about that?
Check the play again. Wallison hit, dropped, goes down, ball pops loose, but apparently not before he was able to break the plane. Touchdown Skyline as they take a 13-10 lead. Contreras, the kick. It's good. 26 seconds left in the first half. Skyline on top, 14-10.
Yeah, this is just speed. Good blocking. And you see Davion Ward getting the block. And all these guys, Doug, they need the smallest of spaces to hit that seam, and it's going to be in. Great effort there by Wallison just to break the plane with the ball.
The Whataburger scoring drive, 7 plays, 75 yards. Minute 27 comes off the clock. Savon Rollison with his 5th rushing touchdown of the year to go along with 14 touchdowns receiving. Rollison getting looked at by North Texas, Louisiana Monroe, UNLV. A lot of the mid-majors taking a strong, hard look at Savon Rollison.
Well, anytime you got speed, there's going to be somebody wanting to look at you. And, you know, Skyline is never going to be a shortage of speed. Yeah, we know that. Every single year they've got some burners that can play. But how about the resolve of this team? Through adversity, you lose one of your leaders with a minute 53 on the clock to close this half out. You're trailing by 3. You march down and put it in the end zone. That says a lot about your club.
And Skyline deferred to the second half. They'll get the ball to start the second half of this game. A chance for them to really kind of take advantage and put Allen on the ropes as we move on in this football game. Still 26 seconds left in the first half, and with Kyler Murray, all things are possible, he would think. So still have to watch out for that guy as Guyton takes the kickoff. Tries to bounce to the outside, across the 30. Good return. 26 yards for Jalen Guyton, and that stops the clock with 17 seconds left in the first half.
Well, we were kind of a similar situation against Arlington Martin. You know, Allen and Arlington Martin in their game, and it seemed like, well, Allen's just going to knee it down. This kid here went off 75 yards to close the half out, and there it is. Same situation, so no, they're not going to rest on their laurels by any means. They're going to try to open this thing up and see if they can't get a quick shot downfield or maybe have Kyler Murray bust through this defense on his own.
You saw the numbers on Murray, 9 of 14 for 99 yards. Also has 61 yards on the ground. Murray has time to throw. Fires deep. Cody Butler. Incomplete, but Butler was open.
He had him, Doug. That's one of the rare times deep downfield in one of the third of the zones. And he had a receiver wide open. You're not going to see too many wide open receivers be missed by number 1 there for the Eagles.
Congratulate Cedar Hill. They made it to the 6A Division II state championship game today. Joey McGuire's club winning over Spring Westfield 64-33. They will play for the 3rd time in a row the Katy Tigers for the state championship. Pass caught Guyton up at the 46-yard line. We will go over all of those scores from around the state coming up on our GMC Landry Award halftime show. Timeout called by Allen with 4 seconds left here in the first half.
It's a nice zone throw here. Jalen Guyton just finding the open space, very much like Carlos Strickland.
Children's Health brings you the timeout. Allen has one more timeout, but with only 4 seconds left on the clock, you wonder if they'll have the chance to use it.
Yeah, this here is more of just saying, hey, if we may just trying to do a Hail Mary play, or this may be, hey, everybody clear out. Let's see how far Kyler Murray can get downfield. Now, defensively here, you're looking at, hey, keep everything in front of you. Make the sure tackle. If they catch it, make sure you tackle. If you can't get them down, hold them up for somebody else to come in and bring them down. You don't want to let something foolish going on here and give up your lead or give us some points back quickly to the Allen Eagles.
Guyton and company back onto the field. Last week, Jalen Guyton was huge against Trinity. 5 catches, 137 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Time for one more play. Murray will air it out. Plenty of time. Now in trouble. Now he goes down. Sacked at the 40-yard line as Skyline brings down Kyler Murray. Dorian Andrews makes the stop, and that's the end of the first half. Skyline 14, Allen 10. The 2-time defending 6A Division I state champions on the ropes against Skyline, but how many times have we seen these Allen Eagles come back in this year alone?
Plenty of times. This game is certainly not over. The champs are champs for a reason. Can't wait to get to the second half.
And the Skyline Raiders will head to the halftime locker room after Allen makes their way up the tunnel. We hope to have a brief visit with Reginald Samples coming up here at the half as Travis Stewart works his way toward the coach. Travis standing by, and so is Reginald Samples. So here just in a moment, we'll send it down. All right, let's go ahead and send it down to Travis now with Reginald Samples.
All right, thanks, guys. Standing here with Coach Samples. Coach, what did you tell your team here in halftime as y'all gathered up?
Oh, just told them to keep fighting, keep playing hard.
I know you said that you guys had to keep Kyler Murray in the pocket in the first half. For the most part, you guys seemed to do that. How pleased were you with their effort?
Oh, okay. He still got out quite a bit. I mean, but we're going to keep trying to do what we need to do to contain him.
Any last injury reports on Johnson?
Oh, no. We'll have to see when we get in.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks. All right, guys. See you.
Thanks a lot, Travis, and thanks to Coach Samples. And we are at the break. 14-10. Skyline leading Allen Class 6A Division I state semifinal, and our GMC Dealers Landry Award halftime show comes your way next on TXA 21. (14-10) our halftime score. Skyline leading Allen Class 6A Division I state semifinal. The winner moves on to AT&T Stadium next week to play in the state championship game against the Cy Ranch Mustangs. Welcome back to the half. Doug Anderson, Ladera McClain, and Travis Stewart with you. And let's take a look, LD, at the brackets and what's gone down already and what is to come in this busy weekend of Texas high school football. Winner of this game, as we said, will play the winner of today's matchup between Cy Ranch and Commerce Judson, and that winner was Cy Ranch's Mustangs, 38-31. Big win there for Cy Ranch. I kind of figured that Judson would have the inside track there, especially playing at the Alamo Dome, but Cy Ranch had other ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody thought it was the Rockets' return to prominence again to make another dash here in the state championship. But kudos to the Mustangs, you know, making a trip there, taking care of business, and they're going to have their hands full whoever comes out of this game tonight. I can tell you that.
Moving on, take a look at Class 6A Division I. Cy Ranch playing the winner of tonight's ball game that we're watching here, Allen and Skyline. These brackets, by the way, brought to you by Wingstop. That's going to be an 8 o'clock kick at AT&T Stadium in Arlington on December 20th. Class 6A Division II. Let's move on and check out the bracket in that division. Cedar Hill taking on Spring Westfield today. Katy and Cibolo Steel in the other matchup. And the first win belonged to the Cedar Hill Longhorns. Great job once again by Joey McGuire's Horns. Another offensive onslaught as they beat Westfield 64-33.
Well, 62 points last week, 64 points this week. It just shows you how dominant the offensive line and their two running backs have really dominated, and that's going to be interesting to watch them play again to defend their state title.
Also in that bracket in 6A Division II, Katy with a overtime victory over Cibolo Steel, 27-20. They had to score in the last minute of the game just to send it to overtime, and then were able to pull off the victory. So for the third time in a row, it will be Katy and Cedar Hill fighting for a state championship.
I guess it's for the tiebreaker now. Each have won a state championship against one another, so that is going to make for an entertaining matchup. Both teams liking to run the ball and play some hard-nosed defense.
4 o'clock kick scheduled at AT&T Stadium on Saturday, December 20th. Moving on to 5A D1. Big matchup between Aledo and John Tyler, and Temple and Vandergrift also. But moving to the top of that bracket, Aledo, you figured that today they would have a tough time at Hamby Stadium against a very talented John Tyler bunch, but look at that final score, 44-14. Aledo rolls over Cujo today.
Well, I thought this matchup, aside from what we've got here at our game here tonight, would probably be one of the best matchups. And John Tyler has had a phenomenal season. They played in a tough district. They play in a district with Ennis. We know how good Ennis is. And Aledo continues to dominate and defeat all odds and win games. And hats off to the Bearcats as they go off and defend their state championship from a year ago.
All right, moving on. We find 5A Division I, the other matchup in that bracket, Temple and Austin Vandergrift at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio tonight. Temple, what a story they've been out of Central Texas this year, but you've got another one of the newer schools in the Austin area, Vandergrift, who has shown to be very good early as the Vipers are playing for a trip to state.
Yeah, I think that's pretty exciting. Anytime you see Temple, that's kind of the old guard coming back to prominence once again, and hats off to the Vipers. They've got a tough fight, and that should be a well of a ball game. And whoever comes out of there is going to have a tough task to deal with the Bearcats and Aledo.
That's a noon kick at AT&T Stadium. Let's send it down to the field. Special guest with our Travis Stewart here at Ford Stadium.
Thanks, guys. The darndest people you run into at high school football games in Dallas, right? How about Mayor Mike Rawlings taking in a football game? Mayor, I understand you're here in support of Dallas Skyline. Tell me a little bit about that.
It is a great night in Dallas, Texas. If you love football, you got to be here rooting on the Raiders, and Allen's got a great team as well. It's been a long time since DISD got a state championship. We're ever so close. We got to push it through.
Well, you seemed excited to talk about football from the get-go, so I'll give you a chance. What did you see there in the first half?
I'll tell you, a very good defensive battle. Well-coached kids. I mean, at this level, those coaches have got them. Not any penalties, no fumbles, a lot of athleticism. That quarterback from Allen can move and shake. Teams dropped a couple of passes, but I'll tell you, this was an exciting play right there. He did get that touchdown. I was right there. He crossed that line, so that was good. And great defensive stand. I mean, to hold that team to a field goal, I thought their momentum was going in. So overall, it's like people should come for the second half. Forget the first half.
That sounds like some good Football Insider knowledge. You were a player, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I played in high school, got a scholarship at Boston College. Played mostly left out at college. They're a little bit fast for me, but got a great education that my parents couldn't have paid for. So it was a wonderful gift, and I love football. I mean, high school, college, pro, maybe we can do it Sunday night against the Eagles.
Well, you mentioned education. Let's talk a little bit about that. Obviously, you just announced your re-election, but education I know has been very important for your first tenure. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, you know, as I look at Dallas, we've got so many things going so well for us, but we've got a big economic gap, and the only way these families, these kids coming from not much are going to get to the other side is really being college ready, getting a great degree, getting the jobs. We've got the jobs. We just need the workforce that's well educated. And so it's one of the most important issues we're facing in Dallas. And it's a great high school experience, too. I mean, we can have fun while we're learning, and that's what I want for these kids.
Okay, toughest question you're ever going to be asked in politics. Who's going to win the second half?
Oh, this is going to be hard. Allen's going to come back. Allen's going to come back. They're well coached, and it's going to be tough. But it really, in the long run, it's going to be grit. Who makes the plays and who makes the big hits? I think defense wins this game. So whoever plays the best defense will win. You know, let's do this for Skyline.
You're on the record at Skyline now. Thanks a lot, Mr. Mayor. Good luck. All right. All right, guys. Mayor Mike Rawlings, how about that? Back up to y'all.
And Travis was worried that he wasn't going to find a halftime interview. How about that? You got the mayor of Dallas here on TXA 21. Our halftime score, 14-10. Skyline leads. Allen, we're back with more of the GMC Dealers Landry Award halftime show in a moment. Halftime at Ford Stadium at SMU. Skyline 14, Allen 10. We continue with our look at scores from around the state on this semifinal weekend of high school football. 5A Division II is where we will go next. Ennis and Canutillo playing in the top game of that division. These brackets brought to you by Wingstop, by the way, and Crosby and Cedar Park in the other pairing out of 5A Division II. Ennis, a team that is on a roll, and they continue to be that way as they beat Canutillo 41-13. And we'll bring in Travis Stewart for a moment. When was the last time that you remember an El Paso school making it this deep in the playoffs? Doesn't happen very often, if at all, but Canutillo, a great story this year, but it ends today.
Happens really because those El Paso teams don't get a lot of these big-time DFW competition until this late in the year. They get one shot at it, and they come up short. But you got to give a lot of credit to that team, Canutillo, for playing as deep as they did. When you play a team like with all the tradition and the history, sometimes you just play a dog that's too big for you.
Moving on, we'll look at Crosby and Cedar Park, and great story for the Cedar Park Timberwolves as they win over Crosby's Cougars 49-21. So you jump into that state championship game, and it will be Ennis and Cedar Park playing on December 19th. That's Friday night, 8 o'clock at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. We saw Ennis earlier this year, LD. They are a very impressive ball club.
There are not too many teams that are going to be as physical as the Ennis Lions like to do it. They play physical up front on their offensive and defensive lines, and then they sprinkle in their skill guys that can outrun you. Should make for an entertaining match with Cedar Park, who also has some kids that can flat out fly. They've got some great offensive players and a defense that's very stifling. Should be a nice balanced match up there.
Let's run through the 4A Division I bracket. Graham and Argyle, a game we broadcast last night here on TXA 21. Navasota and Liberty Hill in the bottom half of that bracket. Now, Graham and Argyle last night 23-20. Great game, LD, and we had the last-minute field goal from Caleb Holt to put Argyle up on top, but then the interception from Zach Zimbrowski to seal the deal. Two teams that know each other pretty well played a great game.
Well, like I said last night, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a row within a matter of 12 months. That's difficult to do, but Argyle did enough to advance against a well-coached, very balanced Graham Steers, and that's going to be a nice challenge for them as they go off and try to defend their title from last year as well.
And they will have to play one of the fastest teams in the state in Class 4A, Navasota, who beat Liberty Hill last night 49-26. So the state championship game 4 o'clock on Friday at AT&T Stadium. Argyle, Navasota. Travis, any thoughts about the Rattlers as they get ready to take on Argyle?
They've got a kid who's got 35 touchdown catches this year, I believe, and that is almost not possible. So I think Argyle knows exactly who they have to target in the secondary if they want to win a ball game.
Well, no question about that. That's anytime you get a receiver with that many touchdowns, that's incredible.
National record. That's the national record, actually. Yep.
Let's move on. 4A Division II, Salina Gilmer And that game was played last night here at Ford Stadium on the campus of SMU. And I'll tell you what, the talk of the stadium here today before this game started was the Gilmer Buckeyes and what they did last night to Salina, 67-14.
Yeah, you're talking about Gilmer. Anybody probably thinks they could probably play with either one of these teams tonight, the way you heard the talk. And you and I talked about the talent from a school from Class 4A, with the list of players that they have going off with FBS-type scholarships is phenomenal. And Salina, with their tradition, we've seen Salina play, very good team, and they just hung 67 on the Bobcats, which is impressive. That team is loaded, and they're going to be definitely a tough out next week.
Moving on to the other game in 4A Division II, West Orange Stark, the Mustangs beating the Sinton Pirates 42-21. West Orange Stark, a team out of the Golden Triangle area in Texas, the Beaumont, Orange, Port Arthur area. They certainly are a team that's been a formidable one over many years now, many decades, as a matter of fact, beating Sinton 42-21 to move into the state championship game and take on Gilmer. And, you know, Travis, we'll bring you in for a second here. And you've covered high school football for a long time. And one thing that we all learn, those of us that cover high school football, you don't get much faster than the players you're going to see Gilmer and West Orange Stark.
It's something in the water in East Texas. It's unbelievable. But when we changed the classification numbers, there was some humming and hawing of whether or not things were going to change. Well, it was the more things change, the more they stay the same. Gilmer and Western Stark are two of the biggest blue bloods in that classification of football. Some things never change.
Gilmer and West Orange Stark in the championship game on Friday at noon at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Got some time now to take a look at the Skyline Raiders marching band on the field here at Ford Stadium. Skyline Raiders marching band having fun here at SMU's Ford Stadium. We saw the Allen Band earlier fill up the field with their 700-member contingent. You know, we joked a couple of weeks ago when we saw Allen play Arlington Martin that if the Escadrille Allen's band was its own high school, it would be a Class 4A school.
That's incredible.
Which is just nuts, but that is the case. And Skyline's band and Allen's band both putting on great shows here for the fans at Ford Stadium. A full house here at SMU's home as Skyline leads Allen 14-10 at the half. We'll take a timeout and come back with more of our GMC Landry Dealers halftime show in a moment.
The best high school football.
The TXA 21 Game of the Week is brought to you by your North Texas GMC dealers. Visit your North Texas GMC dealers. Applebee's. See you tomorrow. Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the right price, every day. Children's Health partnered with the Coles Cares Initiative to help coaches and parents keep players safe during football season. And by Metro PCS, wireless for all. Take a look at the first half numbers. LD and Skyline not outgaining Allen, just outscoring Allen. The Eagles have moved the ball effectively in the first half, but only 10 points to show for it.
Well, I think really all their yards was on that 16-play drive to cap off to go into the end zone. But if you look at what they've done, they've been able to run the ball. I think that was the key for the Raiders. Even if they got over 100 yards passing was a bonus. And if you look at Allen, well, I think that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think this team is going to open it up here in the second half, take advantage of some things they didn't get advantage of in the first half. But really overall, this game has played at a pace that we didn't think. We thought this would have been up and down pace, but the defenses have dictated. It's been relatively clean. One penalty in the first half, which is amazing, and both these teams have struggled a little bit on third down. Allen, 3 of 7, Skyline, 1 of 5. Both teams have got to clean that up and be better if they want to advance.
And you heard Travis Stewart talk about that young man with his head coach Tom Westerberg. Kyler Murray has been in this position before. He's led this team on numerous comebacks, and he's never lost a high school football game. So we'll see what Murray's got in the second half. In the meantime, Travis has an update on the other starting quarterback in this game, Casey Johnson for Skyline. Yes, Travis.
He's the missing man. I've been up and down the sideline. I can't find him. He went into the tunnel a few minutes early after the injury, after he went to the sideline and couldn't grip the ball. Official word is questionable. In my mind, that means broken hand, and that means he ain't coming back. We'll see.
All right, well, we will keep a good thought for Casey Johnson, but in the meantime, that means it becomes Daquan Hardister's game to win for the Skyline Raiders, and he led the team on a scoring drive in his only possession of the game. So we'll see what they have in store with Hardister here in the second half. Meanwhile, the return for Skyline up to the 39-yard line as Jeremiah Hendricks takes it for the Raiders, and we'll get a chance to see Hardister and company as Skyline will take the ball to start the second half.
Now, when you're a quarterback, when you come in unexpectedly a lot of times, you don't have time to be nervous. You don't have time to think. He's been sitting in the halftime locker room for about 30 minutes, and reality may have set in. Now, can he handle that and go out and lead his team? We're going to find out for the next 24 minutes if he's up to the task to keep this lead here for the Raiders.
Good field position for the Raiders on their own 38-yard line. Hardister, snap throw to Rollison at the 40. Cross midfield, Rollison inside Allen territory. Down he goes at the 35-yard line, a 27-yard pickup.
Okay, this is what they did in the first half. Okay, there are no adjustments made by the Eagles. They tried to bring the safety, Jalen Jones, down, but he's coming from 12 yards deep. That's way too slow. And Rollison's in the slot there with the blocker, wide open lane, and that's why you've got that big rip off of yardage there, Doug.
Trips to the left side. Hardister will hand off. Ward following blockers inside the 30 and down to the 28-yard line. 7-yard pickup for DeLeon Ward. Short second down coming up for the Raiders.
Now, I think this drive is huge. If Skyline can go down, punch this into the end zone, go up 11 points, you've got to be thinking from the way their defense has really played well, you got to feel good about it. However, Kyler Murray does not know how to lose, and he won't lose, so it's going to be interesting if they can go in here. How the dynamics of this game could change for this very much of this drive here.
Handoff Ward, and DeLeon Ward this time brought down. 2-yard gain short of the first down. Tackle was made on the play for Allen by Tanner Ledet.
That's a misread. Hardister's got to take that ball when the zone read's there, and that defensive end breaks down and takes the ball. He should be still running on the outside.
Raiders 1 of 5 on third down. Hardister will keep it. He pushes his way to a first down inside the 25-yard line.
That's a heck of an athletic move there by Hardister. He took a shot at the end of that run. It just shows you how athletic it was because he was dead in the water in the backfield.
And not to be doom and gloom, but if something were to happen to Daquan Hardister, then you've got some real issues. They have used Chase Lodry at times at quarterback this year, very, very sparingly, but he's playing more wide receiver now. I would imagine that he would have to.
Well, they'd have to go to the wing T with all four of their skill players.
Hardister, quick throw, Rollison inside the 20, the 15, Rollison keeps on his feet inside the 5, still fighting, pushing the Raiders into the end zone. Touchdown, Skyline.
Are you kidding me? Woo! Man,
that will get the blood pumping. Holy cow.
Well, look at this play. It's a long handoff. It's a sweep. So it's student body left. You've got blockers out in front. Now, this is just a man or a kid that says, I'm not going to be denied to get my team in the end zone. Put the team on his back and get it in the end zone.
What an effort, and Rollison still paying for it on the Skyline sideline as Contreras kicks the extra point. 9:25 remaining in the third quarter, and Skyline has opened up an 11-point lead behind the gladiator-like play of Savon Rollison. Coming into the game, all the talk was about Allen's #1, Kyler Murray, but so far tonight it's been Skyline's #1, Savon Rollison, who has stolen the show on the Whataburger scoring drive. 5 plays, 62 yards, and Rollison with a heroic effort to make it into the end zone for the touchdown.
He got the opening play down there to get him in situations in the red zone where they could exploit the wide side of the football field against that Allen defense. But this kid here gets in the open field and puts the team on his back, and carrying defenders in the end zone is an incredible play. Now keep in mind, they're going up 21-10 now. How is Allen going to react?
You know the Eagles will respond. Michael Newsom will take a knee in the end zone. Touchback for the Eagles as they will start on their own 25-yard line. This team hasn't won 41 games in a row by getting lucky or quitting or anything like that. They've done it because they're an outstanding football team, and you don't count them out until the very end.
No, absolutely, especially with this kid here, Kyler Murray. When he seizes the moment, he just seems to rise up and senses the moment in the game, no matter what the stage is. And like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, there's nothing that we haven't seen this kid do. Just when we think we've seen it all, he brings something else out of the hat.
Murray, quick throw, finds Lee Morris at the 41-yard line. First down, 16-yard pickup, and Morris, who is mulling an offer from SMU, maybe liking his surroundings.
They might as well.
This evening. They might as well use him. First down. Murray drops back. Throws far sideline. His receiver fell on the route. That was Jalen Guyton. And Guyton might have had a first down, but he slipped around midfield.
That's pretty tight coverage on the outside. Jonathan Spencer has got a tough matchup with Jalen Guyton. He's been matched up a few times with Cody Butler. Cody Butler, such a tactician when it comes to route running.
Two receivers split either way. Murray throws, Guyton has the catch, and a first down at the Skyline 48-yard line, 11-yard pickup.
There's no question that Kyler Murray has the arm strength to make all the throws at the next level. Watch this ball. Bang. The coverage is there. I mean, there's nothing that defender can do to make that play.
Murray with time. Throws. Incomplete. He's trying to go back to Jalen Guyton.
That ball's there, Doug. That ball's got to be caught. You know, Guyton's going to play at Notre Dame. He's going to have a pretty good quarterback, too, throw it at him as well. And watch this pass. He steps into it. That's on the money. You got to make that play.
Second down and 10. Murray fires, caught. Inside the 30, Morris stays on his feet all the way to the Skyline 10-yard line. 38 yards for Lee Morris, 2 huge catches on this drive.
Now, this team doesn't have a tight end, but Lee Morris is probably the closest thing to it. He's matched up in the slot, and he's take it on a linebacker. They like that matchup. 6 catches for 141 last week and 3 touchdowns.
Pass incomplete. Gary Hall was the intended receiver.
We heard Coach Westerberg talk to Travis on the sideline about them not converting and putting the touchdown into the end zone, obviously, but they had to come away with 3 points. When you get into the red zone, this is where this team makes their money. They get down here, they're awfully good. They spread you out, and they take advantage of the middle of the field more times than not.
Murray throws, ball tipped, and intercepted. It's coming back the other way. Skyline down the near sideline. To the 10, the 5, touchdown. 97 yards on the return. Jalen Spencer as the Raiders have struck gold at Ford Stadium.
Well, first of all, this ball's got to be caught. But the tip drill happens, and it's too many bodies in the middle of the field, and anytime you get a tip drill, it is susceptible to being intercepted. And how about the sophomore middle linebacker in place of Anthony Wheeler coming up making a big-time play for his defense?
Jalen Spencer goes 97 yards down the near sideline, and Skyline now up 27, make it 28-10, an 18-point advantage with 8:09 remaining in the third. What an effort from the Raiders so far this evening. A lot more football left to play here on TXA 21. Skyline has made big plays offensively behind Savon Rollison, who has 2 touchdowns tonight. See some of his action here as he takes the short passes and turns them into big plays. This one, the biggest of the night for Rollison, as he carried 3 Allen Eagles into the end zone. But defensively, they have made plays as well. Just a moment ago, Jalen Spencer, a sophomore, off the tip drill, intercepts the ball, takes it 97 yards for a Skyline touchdown. LD, unbelievable.
I mean, it's incredible. We said that the Skyline Raiders would have to play a near perfect game. I think they've done that. Really hardly any penalties the entire game. They have not made any mistakes turning the ball over. That being the first turnover of the game. They have caught the passes. Allen has dropped passes. Allen has made mistakes. That's the 18-point difference when you've got 2 evenly matched teams.
Ball taken by Jalen Jones. He bobbled it, but now picks it up and works his way to the 18-yard line. Not great field position for the Eagles. And even down 18, you look at that guy right there and know that this game still isn't over. Right? There's a lot of football left to play, and Kyler Murray, he can move this team downfield in a hurry. They are capable of playing with anybody, and so you just kind of wring your hands together because you know that something good's probably going to happen, and you're just waiting to see how the rest of this ball game plays out.
We're probably going to see the best of Kyler Murray. Yeah, I know that's kind of weird to say. He's pretty much done everything for the last 3 years, unbelievably, but this 18-point hole is nothing to shy about.
Kerry Hall with a reception. First down, 17 yards, tackled up at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, they're going to go a little bit up-tempo here. That's the thing that really surprised me. Not really up-tempo in that first half. They took their time trying to make sure they had the perfect play, but this here has changed the game. Being down 18, they've got to go.
And Murray will throw deep. Penalty flags. Pass interference will come against Skyline as Cody Butler was covered up by the Raiders secondary. First penalty of the game for Skyline. Desmond Luster called with the infraction, and you can see it. He put his hands up as if to say, who, me? But yes, it was a penalty. Quick pass to Butler. Butler breaks a tackle and another. 17 yards out of bounds at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, this offense is awfully good. I mean, they come back and they don't panic. They run their offense. It's just now you've got to pick it up maybe a half a step more. You've got to get to the line, get your formation set, call the play, and execute, because they play with speed, and that's when they're at their best.
Brodini has a man open. Touchdown, Allen Eagles.
Just like that, Doug.
Kerry Hall makes the grab, and yes, just like that, Allen right back in it.
We can see this one from a mile away. He's matched up against a linebacker. He's going to win that matchup every single time, and that's a perfect pass in there by Kyler. Actually, that's Jonathan Spencer trailing across the defense. And how about Kerry Hall? He dropped a couple of passes on the last possession, dropped the pass that led to the 97-yard pick six, and he comes back, makes a play for his team.
Sawyer Williams with the PAT, and Allen back to within 11 at 28-17. 7:20 remaining in the third quarter, and you could just tell a difference in the Allen offense coming out as if finally they realized, okay, we're in a ball game. Yeah. It's time to step it up, and that's exactly what their offense did.
And some of the good teams have that ability to turn it off and on. Yeah, you don't like to normally see that, but they have the ability to do it.
Whataburger scoring drive, 3 plays and 82 yards. Let's send it down to the field and check in with Travis.
You know, when you're Skyline and you're looking at this wide receiver core for Allen, you know you've got some big threats out there like Jalen Guyton. Kerry Hall's the one you don't expect. 9.7 yards a catch, the lowest average for anyone on the team with more than 2 catches. And right there, almost a 40-yard touchdown catch for him. It's not the guy they expected. Those are the ones that hurts for a defensive coach.
And yet those are always the guys that we see in the playoffs step up and make big plays. Example for Skyline, Jalen Spencer had the interception return for the touchdown. He's a sophomore. We don't even know this kid very well, playing behind Anthony Wheeler, but there he is making a huge play. Short kickoff for the Eagles, taken by Ladero Randolph. Catches the ball over his shoulder, and down he goes at the 15, make it the 16-yard line.
Excellent coverage there by the kick coverage team of the Eagles.
And now Skyline leading by 11 with DeQuan Hardister, the backup, that quarterback, trying to respond and move the ball downfield.
Well, if it isn't broke offensively, don't try to fix it. What you want to do is get these slot receivers, Ladero Randolph and Savion Rolson. You want to get them to where they can make a play in open space with some lead blockers. That's their formula right now until Allen shows some defensive adjustments to stop it.
Handoff Ward. Dalian Ward stopped by Sione Tupou. The loss of a yard on that play is the defensive end. Tupou stepped in to make the grab.
That's good to see Tupou back into the game. They need him for his leadership. Guy's got 4 sacks on the season. He plays the defensive end. His job is to play the zone read and take away anything on the outside that comes his way.
Three receivers on the left, 1 man split to the right. Handoff Ward, big hole. Ward breaks it to the right. Across the 40, out of bounds. At the 42-yard line. 26-yard run for Dalian Ward.
Well, Trey Wallace and Daniel Munoz do an excellent job here. Look at the hole they create in the middle of the defense, and once this kid gets to the next level, he's elusive. He's tough to get really anybody around him. Got that 4.4 speed, and he can turn it on very quickly.
Fans on both sides of the stadium on their feet. Nobody's sitting.
Nobody's sitting down. We're not sitting down.
No, we're not. Hardister throws to Rollison. Rollison across the 45 to the 47, a 5-yard pickup.
That's a great tackle by Jalen Ellis. He doesn't make it. I think Rollison has some room to back to the inside to really bust this thing open. That's a good play on first down. If you can get half of what you need to pick up the yards for first down. That puts the offensive coordinator in a little bit of a comfort zone to call this next play.
Skyline State semifinalists 1972, 2011, 2014, but have never made it to the state championship game.
Man coverage, zero look, no safety in the back.
And off Ward, and nothing there. Tackled by Dallas George, the outside linebacker. George with over 100 stops on the year.
Now, they were selling out on a run blitz here. When you've got zero coverage, meaning no safety in the deep back end of the secondary, everybody's up on a man. They were selling out to stop that run there. Force this 3rd down and 5.
Big 3rd down for Skyline. Trips on the right, one man to the left.
Same coverage, zero look, everybody's got a man.
Hardister drops back, tosses over the middle, it's caught. 30-yard line, the 20, down to the 10. 43-yard pickup for Malik Webb, a huge gainer for the Skyline Raiders.
And this is a big-time throw in the teeth of the defense. It's a zero blitz. That means everybody's coming. And you've got man coverage, and if your receivers can beat the defender, you've got a chance to take it the entire way. Good route there, good catch by Malik Webb.
And 1st and goal for the Raiders, leading 28-17. Hand off to Ward, and DeLeon Ward picks up 2 to the Allen 8-yard line.
That's a good read by Hardister. His temptation was to go ahead and pull that ball, maybe get to the outside, but he would have ran right into a blow-up. How about this kid, Doug, coming in, handling the pressure, handling the adversity, and really managing and making some nice plays for this team. Really showing that on that last 3rd and 5 with a zero blitz in his face.
A phenomenal story in this game, the play of Daquan Hardister. 2nd and goal. Rollison goes in motion. They'll hand off to Rollison. Tries to fight for the edge. Spun down.
What a play.
The ball comes loose. Ball still loose. They say he was down. The officials emphatically pointing to the turf. Down after a 2-yard gain. Allen fans screaming for a moment, but in the end, ball was called down by contact.
That's a heck of a play. First of all, just to make this stop. Look at that on the outside.
That's a look at the replay.
Anthony Taylor, yeah.
Brown calls the fumble.
Still a great play by Anthony Taylor to just get the ball carrier down. Savion Wallison is a load when he gets out to the open field.
3rd and goal now from the 6-yard line. Hardister calls for the ball, whistles blow.
Charge the Skyline.
Skyline calls timeout. Their first timeout of the 2nd half with 3 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter.
Ooh, what a game.
What a game indeed.
Hey, this is incredible. Both these teams are really playing some solid football, and right now Skyline is just benefiting, obviously, from the pick 6. Now they've got a chance to add on to their 11-point lead here. It's a good timeout by Coach Samples because you want to let your young quarterback know, really not young, he's still a senior, but inexperienced quarterback know, hey, we don't need you to be a hero or throw it away. Take care of the ball here.
You see Coach Samples, he's letting his assistant coaches talk to the offense. I think that one thing that you can say about Coach Samples is that he coaches good coaches.
Yeah.
We saw that a couple of weeks ago. Emmett Jones, one of his longtime assistants, now the head coach at South Oak Cliff, does a good job with that program, and he's trained up a lot of coaches in his time in the Dallas Independent School District, both in Lincoln and now at Skyline.
Well, there's something said about that. All the great coaches seem to have that attribute. Let your coaches coach, and you can say that for Coach Westerberg and his staff. You know, he's got some coaches that have been there an awfully long time. His offensive coordinator, Jeff Fleener, 9 years. Corey Kane, the defensive coordinator, 9 years. He's letting these guys take both sides of the ball.
Big 3rd down for Skyline. Hardister and whistles. A motion penalty against the Raiders. And no penalties in the first half for Skyline. Had a couple here in the second half as they committed a couple of infractions. They, of course, had the big interception that made up for one of those pass interference penalties, but nonetheless, starting to see some mistakes.
You're starting to see it, and that's the pressure because Allen is coming again. They're bringing 9 guys to get to the quarterback. Actually, they're going to bring 7 because these outside and inside receivers are matched up man-to-man, so expect 7 people to get back there to Harvester.
Now 3rd and goal from the 11.
They backed off.
Harvester throws for the end zone. Tipped, caught, Rollison, touchdown. His 3rd touchdown tonight, Savon Rollison. And Skyline has doubled up the Allen Eagles 34-17.
This is a pretty good read by Harvester, but an even better play by Nisi Tupu, but he tips it right back to Rollison. And Rollison was just in the right place at the right time. That's a huge touchdown there for the Raiders.
Kick is low and blocked. And there's a rugby scrum for it at around the 10-yard line, but a failed conversion for the Raiders, but nonetheless, they lead it 34-17, 2:54 left in the 3rd. Skyline 34, Allen 17. Doug Anderson, Ladera McClain, and Travis Stewart with you from Ford Stadium in SMU. As these two teams battle in the Class 6A Division I state semifinal, the Whataburger scoring drive, 8 plays, 83 yards, 4:19 taken off the clock for the Raiders as Daquan Harvester and Savon Rollison hook up for a touchdown.
Now, it's good news that Skyline scored again for the Raiders. Bad news is for the Allen Eagles, now you get in position where you can't trade scores. You've got to get some stops here. The offense is probably going to take care of their business. They've looked pretty good last possession. But their defense has got to come up and do their part, too.
Return from Guyton across the 30-yard line. And Allen will set up with good field position on their own 31. Mayor Mike Rawlings talked to our Travis Stewart at the half about the desire for a champion out of the Dallas Independent School District. It hasn't happened since the Sunset Bison in 1950. Wow. There's been some close calls. Dallas Carter, of course, won one on the field but had it taken away. Then you had, in 2004, the Lincoln Tigers, another Reginald Samples coach team, made it to a state championship game and lost to Kilgore. Murray goes deep, has a man. Caught by Lee Morris at the 10-yard line. What a throw. 59 yards, Murray to Morris. And just like that, the Eagles are back in striking distance.
Well, offensive coordinator Jeff Fleener has seen enough. He's seen what he wants in the matchup. Right now, Lee Morris is the X factor because he's too big for a defensive back, and he's a little bit too fast for a linebacker, but this time he beats the defensive back in the slot. Perfect pass there by Kyler Murray.
Murray back to work, throws for the end zone. Wide open Morris, touchdown. There was nobody within 8 yards of Lee Morris as he sat alone in the Mustang end zone, and it is a touchdown for the Allen Eagles to bring them back to 34-23.
Now, this is just a beautiful play design. They split everybody out wide. Lee Morris is staying in like he's going to run a short route. He does a shake route, but instead of shaking out, he shakes to the middle. And it parted like the Red Sea once again, and it's an easy throw and catch.
Sawyer Williams makes it a 10-point game. 34-24 Skyline, 2:19 remaining in the 3rd. And when you look at a 17-point lead for a team like Skyline had a moment ago, you think, oh, man, that's a big lead. But then you look at the board and it's a 10-point lead. That's a whole different ball game.
That's a whole different game because now Allen feels like, okay, this is the type of game we live for. We played these kind of games the last 3 weeks. This is nothing to us. We feel like you cannot stop us. We feel like our defense is going to come up because they are championship caliber defense. They're going to make a play. Can you keep up with us?
Whataburger scoring drive, 2 plays, 69 yards, touchdown, from Murray to Morris. In fact, both plays were Murray to Lee Morris on that drive. Allen's an offense that has racked up over 7,000 yards on the season. They are not going to be shut down for an entire ball game.
No, absolutely not. And the way they really opened it up, and that's what I thought they needed to do coming into the second half, is open up the offense. Let these receivers really try to put some pressure on this secondary. And Kyler Murray standing back there all day reading the newspaper is not good news for the Skyline Raiders.
Kick taken inside the 10-yard line by Ladero Randolph. And Randolph, who bobbled it momentarily, will not manage much of a return across the 15 up to about the 17-yard line.
Well, here's this offense again, Doug. They've got to go again. They can't sit back and try to protect a 10-point lead. They've got to put touchdowns on the board because Kyler Murray is heating up. And that offensive Allen has said, okay, enough is enough. We're going to go attack. We're going to go win this game for our team.
But the young man who was pressed into duty for the Skyline offense, Daquan Hardister, after the injury to Casey Johnson, is having a heck of a game. 6 of 7, 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Hardister goes deep. Reaching, incomplete, penalty flag. Carlos Strickland was the receiver downfield.
Like that call.
And it looks like a pass interference coming against Allen.
I like the play call. I like the fact that he saw it outside, man-to-man defense.
Defense, number 6, 15 yards, first down.
You know, Anthony Taylor, he's a very good defensive back, but he's given up about 6-7 inches against Carlos Strickland. Let him go up and make a play, and that's a pretty good call by the officials. But I like the decision to attack and find your matchup.
2:03 remaining in the third quarter. And it's a first down for Skyline at the 32-yard line. Hardister, quick throw, Rollison, and the flag across the 40. Rollison pushed out of bounds after a 15-yard pickup at the Skyline 48-yard line.
Yeah, they switch it up here. Now they put Rollison and Ladero Royal on the same side, but Ladero Royal is the inside receiver, and now you got Rollison on the outside. And really, look at this. Randolph makes an excellent block that springs Rollison to get those extra yardage upfield.
Under 2 minutes to play in the third. First down, Skyline near midfield. Hardister to keep it, and he is tackled in the backfield. Dallas George, the junior, with his 6th sack of the year.
That's a fine play there by Dallas George. He had to make that play. It's some gutty performances by these Eagles. This one you think you've got them outflanked, you've got them outnumbered. These guys step up and make a heck of a play. That's a good open field tackle by George. They try to come with a little bit of an option look. He had the option to throw the pass, but it was well defended.
Skyline letting the clock wind down. Play clock at 5 seconds. They snap it. Hand it off to Ward. Ward's going nowhere. Stop at the 45-yard line. DeLeon Ward. Dallas George was in there again to help make the tackle. Levi Muzarike got a part of it as well. There's a penalty flag down on the play. I believe Skyline might be tagged with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty here.
Dead ball, personal foul, 75 of the offense, 15 yards.
That's right guard Jadon Robinson. And this is what we talked about with our keys to the game, LD. Keep your composure.
And they played a clean game. They played pretty much as clean as a game as you can up until this point. And they've done it all season long. And that's been really the moniker, or really the label, you should say, with all VID teams. They've had the talent, but they just can't seem to put it all together. They make untimely mistakes. They're a little bit undisciplined at times, and they don't keep their composure. Well, this is no time to lose your composure if you're the Raiders. Steady the course and play this game out.
3rd and 27. Hardister in trouble, and he goes down. Levi Onwuzurike penetrated the backfield and brought down Daquan Hardister. 9-yard loss, and the Allen Eagles are facing 4th and a mile. Will have to punt the ball away.
Yeah, good job there by Onwuzurike. Staying on the outside, staying on his track, keeping contained against Hardister. And when they drop back to pass to throw the ball 15, 20 yards downfield, quarterback has not had time back there to scan the field at all.
Skyline 4th and 36. And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. 3rd quarter brought to you by Fred Loya Insurance. Take the Loya 10-minute challenge and save. One team is 12 minutes away from going to AT&T Stadium for the state championship. We'll find out who next on TXA 21. 34-24 our score. Skyline leads Allen. We send it down to the field and check in with Travis Stewart.
Thanks, Doug. Okay, in baseball, when a pitcher's throwing a no-hitter, you don't talk to him. Well, after that touchdown drive, Kyler Murray went straight to the chainer's table, sat down, and no one came to bother him. One coach checked on him at one point. That was it. They know their guy is getting in the zone. They don't want to mess with it. Up to y'all.
I think that's very true. These guys have seen him do it time and time again, and there's no reason to think that he won't have something up his sleeve here in the 4th quarter of this ball game.
I like that, Travis. Pitcher throwing no-hitter.
Skyline, meanwhile, has to punt. It's a short one. Kerry Hall runs up to make the reception at the Skyline 46-yard line. Only a 34-yard punt, and that will give Allen great field position as they're only down by 10.
Well, they're in full-fledged attack mode, and this is where they're most deadly, and this is their type of game. I said it at the beginning of the broadcast, but it's a wide-open contest to where Kyler Murray can pick and choose his spots, and when they tell him to go ahead and just do your thing, look out. And this defense has got to be aware of that. Don't let people get behind you, or he'll continue to pick you apart.
Murray back. Tries to jump it off. He does. Feliciano knocked out of bounds inside the 45. 3-yard gain for David Feliciano. There's a penalty flag back in the backfield. Looks like it might be a holding penalty.
Holding. Offense. Number 74. 10 yards from the spot. Replay first down.
Allen back-to-back 6A Division I or 5A Division I if you go back to last year's classifications. Defending state champs. Also won state championship in 2008, their first state title. Murray goes out of the gun, runs it to the right side. Across the 40, stays on his feet and inbounds across the 30-yard line. 29 yards down to the Skyline 26-yard line.
Man, he's so fast. This is a play called quarterback draw. In the middle of the field, just splits wide open, Doug. And this guy got his phenomenal speed. I mean, he hits it 0 to nothing, 0 to 60 so fast. Defense didn't know what to hit him.
All right, back to work, well protected. Throws to the end zone. Once Morris has him. Touchdown, Allen.
Woo! This kid can throw the football. There's nothing else to say about that. This kid is as good a quarterback I've seen in a long time. He is dissecting a stout defense that doesn't give up these type of plays. And when you have receivers that can beat man coverage, it's going to be a long day. And they have not been able to figure that out. They'll touchdown there by the Eagles.
Lee Morris, his second touchdown of the night. And it pulls the Allen Eagles to within 3. Skyline leads 34-31. They get the ball back when we return on TXA 21. The Allen Eagles down by 17 earlier in this half. Now only trail by 3. 2-play drive, 46 yards. And Lee Morris with his second touchdown reception of the night. Kyler Murray, 19 of 29 on the night, 4 touchdowns, 340 yards passing, 1 interception.
All right, nothing you can say about this. It is just go time here for the Allen Eagles, and I'm really hoping that Skyline is knowing what they're in for. They're in for a dogfight. The champs will not go anywhere. They're going to be here for 4 quarters, and can they match that intensity?
Well, Skyline has been a team that has seen the end of their playoff run to some of the best teams in the state over the last 4 years. You go back to 2010, a loss to DeSoto. 2011, the classic semifinal game here at Ford Stadium, the loss to South Lake Carroll. In 2012, it was Allen. In 2013, Spring Westfield. So they know what they're up against.
Yeah.
Now it's time to see if they can take the next step.
That's exactly right.
Wallace in the handoff. He's been their go-to guy tonight with 3 touchdowns. Rollison up to the 29 at a 5-yard pickup.
They have to understand offensively, they don't have to get too wild. Just understand you still are leading this game. You're up 3 points. Your offense has moved the ball well. Take care of the ball and see what happens. You've been able to exploit this defense. They haven't been able to really stop you either. So you just steady the course, stay within the moment, and run your offense.
Hardister will hand off to Ward. Leon Ward, first down as he pushes his way across the 40 to the 42.
That's a good call. Misdirection in the backfield, just trying to free up a little bit of space so these big offensive linemen can get out in front of DeLeon Ward. You see the lead blocker there. That's big 77, Ali Washington, 6'2", 255.
Ward tonight over 100 yards as he has picked up 110 on 15 carries. Hardister will hand off. Ward through the middle of the Allen defense across the 45 to the 47-yard line. And DeLeon Ward with a 6-yard pickup. Bring up second down, about 4. Make it 2nd and 5 as Hardister comes to the huddle, gives the offensive line the play. Really have to admire the play of this young man, DeQuan Hardister, 7 of 8 tonight, 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Handed off, and this play going nowhere. Ward stuffed. Will bring up 3rd down.
What a play by Levi Onwuzaruke. Number 95, the junior defensive end. He doesn't make this play. I think Ward may break this one for a long one. It's 0 coverage again. That means if he breaks the line of scrimmage, there's nobody back there to stop. But watch the play here. He's being blocked, but with his left hand, as he's falling down, he makes that play. That is an outstanding individual defensive play.
Onwuzaruke with offers from Duke, Texas Tech, making big play here tonight. Hardister throws Strickland, but he's hit as he catches the ball and dropped for a loss. 3-yard loss as the Allen defense steps up to make a big play. You've got some guys out there like Jacob Yandel that are playing lights out right now. And that time they took down Carlos Strickland before he had a chance to make anything happen.
And that's a long way for the linebackers to come. Yandel is the outside linebacker, and his responsibility is to roll to the flats. And lo and behold, right there, Carlos Strickland was there to make that play before he could get going in the screen play. Good defensive stand there by the Allen Eagles. That defense had to come up and make a stand. That's what they were looking for. And the way their offense has been playing, you've got to feel the momentum for the Eagles.
Randolph kicks. Jalen Sharp will take it at the 20. And Sharp brought down 26-yard, 36-yard punt, about a 7-yard return for Jalen Sharp. And now Allen a chance to reclaim the lead. Down by 3, 34-31. We've got a timeout on the field, and we will take it at 7:45 remaining in this contest. Is it more Murray magic? Next on TXA 21. The Allen Eagles on their last 3 possessions, a total of 7 plays, 2 minutes of clock time, and 3 touchdowns. That's unreal. They go back to work, trailing 34-31. You see the rushing numbers for Kyler Murray today. 85 yards on 14 carries. He also has thrown 4 touchdowns and for 340 yards. Got a motion penalty against Allen.
False start, 2 of the offense. 5 yards, first down.
That's Cody Butler.
And it's just remarkable what this offense have done. And Kyler Murray has thrown for well over 340 yards. And this defense has only given up the entire season an average of 124 yards passing. This shows how well he's playing.
Throws it incomplete. Kerry Hall, the target. 2nd down and 10, or 2nd down and 15 rather, coming up. Kyler Murray, a 2-time state championship game MVP. Not only has he led his team to the state championship twice, but he's been the best player on the field in both games. Murray back to pass, now runs, breaks a tackle, and out of bounds he goes across the 25 up at the 27-yard line, about a 5-yard gain. Yeah, the accolades, at some point you can list them and they're a mile long, but at some point you just have to enjoy the fact that guys like this don't come around very often.
You know, really, the last player to me, and we always go back to this, that makes me just want to stand up and watch him, was William Cole for Cedar Hill. And that championship run they had back in 2006, 2007. And really, this kid here is a complete player. He makes all the throws and rises to the occasion every moment.
Murray throws, Butler catches. Cody Butler first down, 19-yard pickup up to the Allen 47-yard line.
And oh yeah, he can throw a 20-yard dart off his back foot. Look at him here. He just throws it off his back foot, and it's all about placing the ball where his receivers can make that play because the coverage was there.
Murray again goes deep. Sideline, out of bounds, penalty flag. Jalen Guyton was the receiver. He caught the ball. He was out of bounds, but there's a flag on the play. This could be a couple of things. Could be a hold against Skyline. Didn't look like pass interference downfield, but
holding on the eligible receiver, 10 yards, first down.
Defensive holding in the secondary there. Jonathan Spencer, he's matched up against Jalen Guyton on the outside. That's the matchups that they want to try to exploit one-on-one. You didn't really see it in that shot there. It's a little bit more contact, a little bit further back in that shot there.
First down, Morris with the catch, 14 yards to the 30-yard line of Skyline as Kyler Murray continues to use Lee Morris and the rest of the receivers to pick apart this Skyline defense.
Well, he's matched up against the safeties. This time, Darian Lewis, the free safety, is having to come over and cover. That's a mismatch.
Murray drops back, throws. Ball is caught by Morris again. There is no answer right now for Lee Morris to the 10-yard line. 21-yard pickup for Allen. That time he got past Darian Lewis again.
That might be his best throw of the night because the defender was in place to probably pick that ball off, but the ball is thrown out on so much of a tight rope and on time, the defender had no chance but to try to at least make the tackle.
First and goal, Allen. Murray under some pressure, spins, throws. Feliciano there, incomplete. David Feliciano is hopping mad.
I think he's got a good grief here.
The official says incomplete. Let's take another look.
There's a little Tony Romo back spin here. Gets back and squares his shoulders, fires a dart. That's a touchdown.
Yeah, that's a TD.
missed that one. And on a heck of a play, too. That's what's so bad about it. It's kicked red high. Yeah, that should be 6 points there for the Eagles.
Allen fans getting a look at it on the large screen here at Ford Stadium, and their reaction about the same as ours. That was a touchdown. That's what it looked like. I believe that's what it was. 2nd and goal. Murray has some time. Now runs up inside the 5-yard line. 6-yard gain to about the 3, where it will be 3rd and goal.
They were waiting on him that time. They sat there and tried to spy. All three linebackers stayed in that time, not letting him get across the goal line. Empty set here, Doug. First time tonight they've gone empty.
Murray alone in the backfield. Looks, throws to the corner, has a man caught. Touchdown, Lee Morris, and Allen has retaken the lead.
That's why he's the best. There's no doubt about it. That's why this team is the best. They just do not blink in the middle of adversity. No matter how far they are back from behind, they're going to come up and win any contest they're in. Great play call there by the offensive coordinator, Jeff Lehner. Well-designed play.
Sawyer Williams will try to make it a 4-point game. Kick is on the way, good. 6:11 left in the ball game. Class 6A Division I state semifinal, and Allen leads Skyline 38-34. This is high school football in Texas. You've got 2 of the heavyweights in Class 6A in a dogfight down the stretch at Ford Stadium at SMU. Allen leads Skyline 38-34 in front of, I don't know, what would you say, LD? About 30,000 here this evening.
Easy 30,000 people at this game. I think people still trying to get in, to be honest with you. I'm serious.
Kick goes out of the end zone. Skyline will take the ball on their own 25. You know, Skyline has put together some long, impressive drives this evening. If they were able to do that here, they'd have a very good chance of winning this ballgame. But you look at what Allen's done.
My goodness.
On their last 4 drives, and it has been nothing short of incredible. I mean, touchdowns, efficiency, everything. It's been Allen in the second half of this game, as they have scored 14 in the 3rd, 14 more here in the 4th, to take a 38-34 lead. Handoff Ward. Ward stopped after a 1-yard gain.
Well, it's fired up on that sideline.
Boy, it is.
Allen is fired up. Their defense is now feeding off their offensive success, Doug. And that's the mark of a good team. You feed off each other. No one side carries the other side. If the offense needs a pick-me-up, the defense did it. They went out there, got their stops, and the offense just took it from there, and they've been unstoppable.
2nd down and 9. Hardister will hand it off to Rollison. Rollison coming near side. Actually make that Ladero Randolph, and Randolph has nothing as the Allen defense strings him out, and Allen's seen enough of this sweep to know basically what's coming. And even if they're not quite as fast as Skyline, they're getting to the spot ahead of time.
Well, I think you hit it right on the spot, Doug, because they know individually we can't run these guys down, but we have to think collectively as a team unit. And if our guys can make a hard edge and turn them back in, we can play from the backside and make that tackle on them. And they did it there.
Under 5 minutes to play. Huge 3rd down for Skyline. Hardister will throw. Incomplete. Pass was intended for Malik Webb. Tyler Fleming was in coverage for Allen, and that brings up 4th down.
Now, this is where you'd like to have your senior quarterback, Casey Johnson. This is where he would step up, probably take that ball down, and try to run and get that 1st down. And they're missing that element of it. In fairness to Hardister, he's played a well of a game, but there's something said about the starting quarterback that has been there for 14 wins this year. You lose that, that's tough for anybody to be in a pressure situation like that.
Skyline has 2 timeouts. Their defense will need to step up big time. There's a fake as Randolph stays on his feet, but he's going nowhere, and that is most likely your ball game. Skyline goes for a fake deep in their own territory, needing 8 yards, LD, for a first down, and come nowhere close.
They try to get him with the element of surprise, but good discipline by the defense and the return team. You saw big number 76 stand at home, Will Udu, the 5'7", 246 defensive lineman. He stays at home. He did his responsibility. Again, discipline, doing your 111th, going and doing your job. Lo and behold, probably the biggest stop of the game.
Still a lot of football to play, but that kind of play right there can be a backbreaker, especially when you're facing a team like the Allen Eagles. Murray inside the 15, the 10, and he steps out of bounds at the 9.
There's nobody like him. Nobody like him to seize the moment and take over a ball game at this level. Nobody like him. He took that ball. He said, "This is my ball." Watch the read here, Doug. They were fighting over it, but he said, "Nah, this is my game. I'm going to lead this team down the field and score." And he reels off another big gash of the defense.
And an unseen element, Greg Little, the unbelievable left tackle for the Allen Eagles, limping, coming back to the huddle, waved off a replacement. He stays in the game. Handoff. Keon Williams inside the 10. Gives flags too.
Well, if you're Skyline, Doug, this is it. You've got to stop them. You cannot let them get in the end zone. Now, if you let them kick a field goal.
Defense, number 12.
Well, that doesn't help either.
Replay, first down.
If you can hold them to 3, it pushes the lead to 7. You've still got a puncher's chance, but if you let them in the end zone, that might be church, because then that's a 2-point score game.
Four-point lead for the Allen Eagles. First and goal inside the 5-yard line. Murray, the handoff to Feliciano. Feliciano trying to turn the corner, push out of bounds at the 1-yard line.
Well, that's a good job by the line judge. The temptation is to say, yeah, he hit the pylon and go ahead and raise your hands for a touchdown. But watch the end of this. His foot just goes just out where he marked it, inside the 2-yard line. It's a good job of officiating here. Yeah, see it right there? That's a great job.
Second and goal. Allen up, 38-34. 4:06 left in the game. Class 6A, Division I state semifinal. The winner moves on to play Cy Ranch's Mustangs in the state championship next week at AT&T Stadium. Feliciano in the backfield with Murray. He'll take the handoff, he'll score. Allen. Touchdown. Eagles lead by 10.
Power football here. They can play any style that you want to play. If they want to play power, they can play power. Feliciano finds a nice seam. Greg Little, look at him. He didn't have anybody to block. He's just making sure everything is secure. Big gash in that defense.
That was enough for the Skyline fans as they start to make the mass exodus here at Ford Stadium. The extra point from Williams good. Still a lot of football left in this game. You've got 4 minutes of football, and it's only a 11-point game at this point, 45-34. But once again, Kyler Murray has been Kyler Murray in this football game, and we send it down to the field. Get some thoughts from Travis Williams. Travis Stewart.
You watch Kyler Murray play, and I'm trying to put him in a category of players that can do what he does. No more than you could swing a punch at a hurricane. And the only guys I'm coming up with are Midland Lee's Cedric Benson and Alito's Jonathan Gray, who dominated like this for as long as they have in the high school arena. Honestly, Skyline's a phenomenal team. You can stand on here and watch him. There's nothing you can do. He's just that much better. It's amazing.
It is amazing, and it's one of those things where you realize that the shelf life is very limited in his high school career. He's got this game. If Allen wins, he's got next week. And that's it. No more Kyler Murray on the high school level. A guy that could finish his career at 42-0 with his team riding a 43-game winning streak and will go down as one of, if not the best high school quarterback in state history.
I second that. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And it's a pleasure to be able to watch this kid do something that will be tough to ever do again. I can just tell you that.
And I agree with Travis. You look at Cedric Benson. When I first got into covering high school football on the statewide level, Cedric Benson was the story. I saw his first state championship game as a sophomore when he went for 5 touchdowns against San Antonio MacArthur at Texas Stadium. He went on to score 5 touchdowns as a junior in the state championship game, 5 touchdowns as a senior in the state championship game, and lead his team to 3 in a row. Then Jonathan Gray came along, and it was like Benson all over again.
It exactly was. It's just we're so fortunate, partner, I can tell you that, to see these kids. And Jonathan Gray, boy, I tell you what, but this kid, Kyler Murray, is the new age.
He is the real deal. Pass to Ladero Randolph, first down for Skyline, 13-yard pickup. And Skyline still with some fight and a chance if they can score quickly here. Pick up an onside kick, you never know.
Well, I think they got a little bit shell-shocked on offense. They got away a little bit from what was working, and credit to the defense of the Eagles. Now, if they can get the vertical passing game back going, get Carlos Strickland involved, you still got a chance here.
Back to Randolph. Ball comes loose, and it's picked up by Allen.
Well, you can't do that.
See what happens here. This might not be a turnover.
Boy, it was a lot
Randolph
of white
may
shirts.
have jumped on it at the end to get it back. Who knows? It looks like it's Allen football. It looked originally like DC Tupou got the football, but coming out of the pile with it was Anthony Taylor. So Randolph trying to do as much as he could, but the ball pops loose and he fumbles it. Recovered by the Eagles. Their ball on their own 49-yard line.
Boy, that's tough there. You figure that was really their last shot to maybe get back in this thing.
First turnover of the game for Skyline.
Yeah.
And it could not come at a worse time. So Kyler Murray leads his ball club on to the field once again. And make no mistake, Kyler Murray would tell you, he'd be the first one to tell you that it's a team game. There's 11 guys on the field. It's not just him. But those of us sitting in the stands, those of us watching, I don't know that we believe that necessarily when it comes to these Allen Eagles and Kyler Murray.
Hey, we're media. We get paid to give our opinion, and this is a great team. Don't get me wrong about that, but you have to have the right pieces of the puzzle at the right time. You know, Kyler Murray would probably be a great player no matter where he went to, but it just happens to fall here at Allen. He's got the great pieces around him to make him play at an elite level, and that's what they've done. And really tonight, I think this is just as more of a impressive performance than I've ever seen him do.
7-yard pickup. Keon Williams with the carry. Kyler Murray tonight, 397 yards passing and 5 touchdowns. He also has 115 yards rushing tonight. And his main receiver has been Lee Morris, 8 catches, 187 yards, and 3 TDs.
Well, he had a good game last week. Lee Morris, 6 catches, 141, 3 touchdowns against Trinity. And that connection has seemingly blossomed here in the playoffs. And you really can't just lock down on Jalen Guyton. You've got other guys you got to worry about.
Pass caught for a first down over on the far side of the field. That reception made by Camden Harrison, his first catch of the night. 8-yard pickup. And it looks like once again the Skyline Raiders will see their championship hopes die in the semifinal round. Just in 2011, made it to the semifinals and lost to the eventual champion, the Carroll Dragons. And hey, I don't know much about Cy Ranch, but I would have to say that Skyline probably is losing to the eventual state champion again tonight.
Yeah. Once again, that's what we get paid to do.
Keon Williams will seal the deal for the Allen Eagles with a 36-yard touchdown run to give Allen a 51-34 lead.
Well, this line just says we're going to keep playing, and Anthony Wheeler, as great as he is, just gets himself out of position right there, and it just created a huge void in the middle of that defense. And when he's not there to make that tackle, you're going to see long runs like this. Keon Williams really closing the door on this thing.
Extra point good, 52-34 with a minute 41 remaining in the game. And Keon Williams with his 6th rushing touchdown of the year. He puts the final touch on a victory for the Allen Eagles, which will be their 42nd in a row.
And it's incredible. And the way they did it. And it seemed like they may be knocked out for just a brief second. You look at the play drive there, 4 plays, 51 yards, 2 minutes. That seems to be the mode of operation here in the second half. But just when they seemed to be knocked out, they went down 18 points. And it looked like Skyline had them on the ropes, and it was going to be Skyline to maybe walk this thing in and do the improbable. But they just rallied the troops, and they came back storming like a champion normally does.
A 28-point fourth quarter for the Allen Eagles.
Wow. That's incredible, man. That's
well, consider that they trailed 14-10 at the half. They scored 14 in the third, 28 here in the fourth. A 42-point half for the Skyline for the Allen Eagles. And they show you why they are the 2-time defending state champs. Rollison on the return. And Rollison finds a little running room. Breaks the tackle, stays on his feet. And if there is one man that's been a warrior tonight, and they all have, really, you give credit to Skyline for the way they played, but if there's one guy that's just going to absolutely leave it on the field, it's Savon Rollison tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, he had arguably one of the best plays we've seen all season long when he went in there, scored the touchdown, and really put the momentum on the Raiders' sideline, and he continues to fight, and that's what you expect. Your leaders continue to do what needs to be done out there, no matter what the score or the situation is.
Rollison still a little shaken up as he gets his breath. There was a penalty on the return. It will mark Skyline back a bit. Allen will play Cypress Ranch next week for the 6A Division I title. Cedar Hill will play Katy for the 6A Division II title. What a game, and what games those are going to be next week at AT&T Stadium. We got a moment here while they mark off this penalty. I just want to, on a personal note, say what a pleasure it's been to be a part of this coverage again in year 9 of our Game of the Week on TXA 21. Did you think 9 years ago
No.
when I called you out of the blue and said, hey, you want to do some high school football, that we would be sitting here now?
I still can't believe it. And really, I feel like I'm on notice at any moment. They're going to tell me, hey, you had a good run there, LD. But no, it's been a pleasure. Working with you. We've seen some fantastic games. We've seen some fantastic players that are still playing on Saturday and on Sunday. Keep that in mind.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
It's been a great ride.
Had a lot of fun. We've seen some classic games. Thinking back, Garrett Gilbert and Lake Travis beating Highland Park. William Cole and the great semifinal matchup against Garland. Our first year on the air when Cedar Hill beat Garland in the state semifinals. Great game at Texas Stadium. We went on to watch him win the state championship. They've had the great Coppell Trinity game at Dragon Stadium a few years back.
I think we still kind of ride that glory, huh?
Highland Park and Rockwall Heath in a great playoff game several years ago.
I will rank this playoffs this year out of the 9 season, this may be one of the better years because the level of competition is going up so much. These teams seem to have caught one another, and these games and scoring have been ridiculous. You know, we've seen 62, 42 games.
And just think about the two teams that we had a chance to look at this weekend. Argyle last night with a 31-game winning streak, and now Allen with a 42-game winning streak. Doesn't get much better than that.
No, it doesn't. And really, it's just a shame because you really like to see these types of matchups really the last game of the year. But unfortunately, DFW has dominated Texas high school football really since the early aughts. And it's unfortunate that these two teams have to knock each other out before they really get a chance to take a shot at the title.
I give a lot of credit to the Skyline Raiders for what a season they had. 14 wins, state semifinals for the second time since 2011. And you also got to give credit to the Allen Eagles. 42 wins in a row. They're heading back to the state championship game where they have a chance to repeat for the 3rd time as state champions. And it's a lot of credit to that man right there, Tom Westerberg, and his coaching staff for what they've been able to do. But yeah, just wanted to take a moment to say thanks to everybody that's a part of the broadcast that we do week in and week out here on TXA 21 as Allen puts the seal on their game defensively with an interception. Eagles picking off DeQuan Hardister there. Jalen Ellis with the INT with 30 seconds left to go in the game. Thanks to our production crew, which is headed up by Jeff Watts, our executive producer, and Tiffany Watts, Michael Watts, Brian Watts. Kind of a family affair.
It's a family affair.
If you haven't got the gist of it by now. Those guys, they all do a great job. Travis Bransel, our director for much of the year. Of course, our statistician, Robert Walton, would not be able to sound as good as we do without his fine work. Ryan Metcalf, our other statistician that came in this year and helped out. Backup quarterback in the game is Kyler Murray. Is on the sideline. Jared Harvey takes a knee for Allen, and that could be the final play of the game. Kyler Murray. Murray's magic does it again as the Gatorade National Player of the Year leads his team into the state finals for the 3rd year in a row. His winning streak is 41 games. Allen's winning streak is 42. And the Allen Eagles are on their way to AT&T Stadium to go for a three-peat in the largest classification in Texas high school football. Final score, Allen 52, Skyline 34. We're back in a moment with the wrap-up here on TXA 21.
The best.
Final score from Ford Stadium, 52-34. Allen winning over Skyline to advance to the 6A D1 title game. And Victoria's head coach Tom Westerberg is on the field with our Travis Stewart.
Thanks, Doug. All right, Coach. I mean, 42 straight wins. You're about to go to your 3rd straight title game. I'm sure you've seen it all, but what did you learn about your team tonight?
Well, first of all, I want to give all the credit to Skyline and Coach Samples and their program. They run a class act, and it's always a tough game playing them. But what we learned tonight is the same thing we've learned for the last couple of weeks. These kids have fought back and fought hard. They've been down in every game the last 3 weeks and have fought back hard like they did tonight. Kyler played outstanding.
I know all your kids played hard, but, I mean, Kyler was a standout. Give me some thoughts on him.
He is, and we kind of got the whole thing going. Once he started going, the defense started going and getting stops and kind of feed off of each other. We just like to do it a lot earlier than 3rd quarter, 4th quarter. So, they feed off each other and playing really well right now.
So you got Cy Ranch next week for the title game. What do you know about them, and how do you like the matchup?
Don't know anything about them, and so what we'll do is grade our video in the morning, and we'll get to work on them this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be there Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Congratulations, Coach. Take care. Back to you, Doug.
All right, thanks, Travis. Great work down on the sideline tonight, and thanks to Tom Westerberg as well. Let's take a look at our Academy Sports and Outdoors play in the game. This was Savon Rollison battling those last 5 yards for a touchdown for Skyline, and we really thought at that point Skyline might be on their way to a victory. They were looking great.
Well, the big MO was on their side, and when he crossed the goal line here, I think it sent shockwaves up to where we are, and I think it was heard across the area. What a big play it was.
And time for our player of the game, brought to you by GMC. And really, you could give Kyler Murray the player of the game honor anytime, but tonight we go ahead and give it to somebody different for a change. Lee Morris, he had a huge game. 8 catches, 187 yards, 3 touchdowns in this game to help push the Allen Eagles to the victory. And talking about Kyler Murray, let's talk to Kyler Murray. Travis Stewart on the field with the quarterback for the Allen Eagles.
All right, thanks, Doug. I got Kyler Murray right here. Kyler, I mean, I don't know if you feel pressure or not. Maybe it's just lost the ability to register with you, but tell me what was going through your mind tonight when y'all were down 17.
You know, look around, everybody's head was down. We're down. You know, you would think we had lost the game already, but, you know, for me, the past 2 years, you know, we got a lot of young guys on the team, so, you know, for me as a leader, I just got to pick them up, and, you know, if we play our game, I think we're one of the best teams in the nation, so, you know, just got to persevere and just, you know, it's adversity, you know, it's going to happen in every game, so, you know, that's what greats do, you know, they strive in this moment, so, you know, I just want to be one of the greatest, and, you know, just leading my team to a victory was pretty special.
So you want to be one of the greatest. You're pretty close. If you win next week, that's 43-0 as a career and 3 straight state titles. What would that mean to you as going out from Allen High School?
You know, I can't thank, you know, my teammates enough. You know, my past teammates for the past 2 years, my coaches, you know, the fans, cheerleaders, trainers, everybody. You know, the whole city. You know, they're just great. You know, the whole town shuts down on Fridays and Saturdays. So I mean, you know, I can't thank them enough. But just if we do it next Saturday, it'll mean a lot to me. I know it'll mean a lot to this team, a lot to the city. You know, I'm just glad I've been able to, you know, put on for the city. That's about it.
Thanks a lot, Kyler. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Travis. Thanks, Kyler. And LD, you can't not like that kid.
You can't.
I mean, there's just nothing else to say. Great kid, great player, and a great team in the Allen Eagles as they win tonight. We look at the final numbers.
Well, we looked at it at the halftime, and we said, wait, they've got some work to do. And, boy, did they put some work down, because the passing game opened up 405 yards. That's really over 300-plus yards just in the second half alone. Nearly 600 yards at 599, but I think the defense made a critical stop, and that opened the floodgates for Allen. And Skyline, they just did a little bit too late and couldn't keep up with the Allen Eagles. But hats off to the Raiders. I thought they played as good as they possibly could play. A few mistakes here and there really could have made the difference.
And I just want to have one final note about the incredible Allen Eagle run, and that is their last 4 playoff games. Victories over DeSoto, Arlington Martin, Euless Trinity, and now Skyline. That's unreal.
Yeah, this might be the sweetest one of them all, just for what they had to go through. You always want to keep your state championships. You never take those for granted. But just for what you mentioned, boy, it'll be icing on the cake if they can take care of business next week.
And we will see if they can do it. Next week, it's AT&T Stadium. It's the Class 6A Division I state championship between Allen and Cy Ranch. That will do it for our season here on TXA 21. We thank everyone that was a part of this one. I mentioned them earlier, but our statistician, Robert Walton, and for down on the sideline, his fine work, Travis Stewart, and of course, my partner for these past 9 years. Couldn't do it without him, LaDarren McClain. For all of those folks, I'm Doug Anderson. So long from Ford Stadium at SMU, where the final score was Allen 52, Skyline 34. Good night, everyone.